There's Timu, look.
Here we go then. Welcome to Talk Norwich City for our watch-along versus Watford. Myself, Chris, and a special guest tonight, as you can see by the name strap and in picture. It's Mr. Grant Holt himself. Holty, how are we, mate?
Yeah, good. Feeling a little bit left out because you played golf with my little mate today. I didn't get an invite, but we won't talk about that.
He's full of pizza. I've fed him some Texas barbecue.
Oh, lovely.
Questionable flavour, but I think it's going to give him the energy to get through this watch-along tonight, Jack, because we know that it takes a lot of energy to talk all the way through a football match.
And what's going on with the beer selection? I see one with an Estrella and one with a Stella. Did you bring it round, Holty, or what's going on?
No, big threat. He's actually bought me something for a change, which is very honest.
So you know what, Jack? Right, when I was arranging this, to be fair, Grant said to me, let's do it anyway. I said, all right, what beer do you want? And I was thinking he's going to say Peroni, he's going to say Bud, but he goes for a Stella.
I think that's a solid choice.
I didn't see him as a Stella kind of guy, but let us know in the comments what drink you think that Grant Holt suits.
That I was going to go a Hop House. I quite like Hop House.
I would have respected you more for the Hop House.
Yeah, but
standard.
I don't like Peroni.
Did you drink Stella whilst you were playing?
Yeah, I drink anything.
Chris, I'm glad that it's not me in a room with Holty tonight, but I can remember the podcast we filmed back in pre-season. Let's get it out in the room to start off with. We infamously said that
No. That's fraudulent. No, you said. What did you say, Jack?
I said possibly on paper, this team is better than Holty's team. And how wrong we were.
And you know what takes the piss? I had him on the phone to me. He's saying that I should eat humble pie.
Well, I think you said it as well.
No.
I think he bordered on saying it, but he kind of sat on the fence in the middle and didn't say it and let you go for it.
For once, I sat on the fence.
Holty, what have you made of this season, mate? I mean, there's 5 games left. We're on 21 points. We need another 4 wins to even make our record lowest total in the Premier League. It hasn't been great, has it?
No, I think it obviously hasn't been great. As I said, it's the way it's gone. It just obviously you always go with optimism. Look, we always know it's tough. We start at the start of the season. The Premier League's a tough league, and we knew how it was going to be. The one thing I'd say for this group is, the start of the season, not been that much money spent in terms of where we are. So in terms of the philosophy, we haven't went out and spent huge amounts of money to try and stay in the division, which I don't think we could. But I just don't think it's been good enough in terms of we haven't really had a go. I think that's been the biggest problem. We haven't really had that fight to really say, look, we've got an opportunity to stay in. To try and leave yourself to win 4 games at the back end is difficult. And the disappointment has been coming out of the lockdown. They've had a long time off. They've had a long time to think about it. And coming out of the lockdown, we haven't really done anything. And that's been the biggest concern, I think.
I keep hearing this thing. And I think the reason your squad was so successful is we had leaders throughout it. Are you worried that in this squad there maybe isn't them natural leaders? I mean, we've got Tim Krul and we've got Tete, but it just seems like we're lacking something.
I was saying to Chris, and we had a conversation. We went, and I said to him, I showed him the Sheffield United team from the weekend, where it was 1-1 with Burnley and the Burnley 2 squads, and we went through them. And if you look at that squad and you actually went through them and looked at the team from the weekend, I still don't think you'd swap many Norwich City players with that squad. If you still went through it, even the Burnley one, there's not really one you'd be saying I'd be desperate to get him in. Obviously, you'd nip a few around. I think the biggest concern is, as a collective, they've not been good enough. I don't think individually some of them haven't been good enough. I think as a collective, as a group of players, they just haven't been good enough this year.
But is that because of the lack of leaders, Holty?
I think the worrying start is, like you said, when you're 1-0 down and we've not come back and won. That's a real concern. That we haven't got that desire to go and get back in the game. And I think that's been Norwich fans' biggest frustration. There's nothing worse when you go 1-0 down, you think, oh, that's it, we ain't getting back into it. And I think that's been the biggest frustration. And sometimes it just gets in your head. If they had that maybe came back earlier on in the season, then you've got that, well, we can do it. Look how many goals they scored at the end of the season last year. The back end of games, how many goals they scored. They got momentum because they were known for doing that. And I think now at the moment they're in a mindset where he's in a good place.
Massively. I mean, Chris, quickly to throw some positivity in the room. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in. We can see your comments coming through. We'll put them on screen throughout the show. We've got 7 minutes till kickoff. We'll get onto team news in a moment. Chaz Tat says 4 points from safety if we win this. What do we think? Is there hope? I mean, is there any hope, Chris, of the Great Escape?
I think it would be the biggest footballing miracle the Premier League has ever witnessed. And there is no way that it's going to happen.
What, bigger than Leicester winning the league?
Well, relegation.
All right, okay, just checking.
Come on, mate.
We're just literally seeing it. It's literally just coming on the screen now. So just literally having a look. The biggest concern for me is it's not the fact that the points total you're away from where you are. It's the amount of teams that need to knack up for you to do it. That's the concern. It's not about your 3-4 points. It's the fact that the people above you, there's a hell of a lot of them need to knacker up before you get anywhere near them.
They're done.
And that's the biggest thing.
But the problem is, Jack, they're done. You know, you listen to the press comments yet again, and that is not a fighting attitude of we're going to fight to the death. That's we're waving the white flag. And it's harsh to say they're giving up because, of course, they're going to do everything they can to get the 3 points tonight. But for me, just the messaging throughout this campaign has just been really poor. And I think, and one of the things that I was going to say to you, Holty, is, do you think that, that 1-0 down stat, do you think an element of that, and I remember, of course, we all remember those Lambert years.
What, the crap years that Jack said?
when we went 1-0 down at half time on a rare occasion, and I was eating my Mars bar and having a cup of coffee or my Fanta, I knew that you'd come out there with your tail in between your legs, having had an absolute rollicking from Paul Lambert. Do you think that there is enough fear injected in those players? Do you think that it's too easy? Do you think the players get off too lightly? Because how have they not responded? We've been all season, it's the same story over and over again. We go a goal down, and it just looks like there's no creativity, there's no plan B, and it just looks like the lads have given up.
I just think with the group, they've got the completely different to the one we had. I think the way they are, the way that they come across, I think it's just different. Until you're in that settlement, in that surrounding, you just don't know. I just think in terms of, I think there's times in games where things happen and you look and think, well, do something about it. Be a bit more reactive. Be a bit more. Do something to change it. You can't always look over your shoulder. You can't. It's very easy to blame the manager and look around and say, look, he didn't say this or he didn't say that. Sometimes you've got to take it in yourself and let you go, right, what are we going to do? We were talking before about, we had conversations. We're talking about the drinks break. Is it good or is it bad? I hated it because for the simple reason that you've got to wait and got to do it. The one thing we used to do is every opportunity when that game stopped and that ball stopped, it was a conversation to sort something out. So we have a conversation. It could be a chat with Michael Nelson. It could be a Russell Martin, Crofty, David Fox. Conversations were had. Things were said on the pitch and done. And then as the game went on, we didn't have to wait till half time. There wasn't a wait till half time. There wasn't a wait till full time. I think I seen something the other day where you said about someone had put someone on Twitter about Chris Hughton had said about the Everton game where he was telling us defend and I dragged it to 2-1 and we scored. That wasn't about me dragging it. We knew as a group on the pitch that we needed the 3 points. And we made the decision to not ignore the manager, but we knew he was trying to get people to stay back for the cross, and we loaded that box so much because we had a sniff of the thing. That isn't us taking matters into our own hands. That's us as a group thing, and we've got this. Taking a little bit of ownership and saying, right, we think we can win this game, we're going to go and win it. And that's the difference. I don't think they've got that at the moment.
The belief's not there, Jack. Plain and simple. There's no mixing words. The belief is not there. Simple.
Let's quickly discuss the team news because the boys are walking out. Are we synced up on screen, Chris? I've got a picture of Nigel Pearson on mine at the moment.
Oh, have you? I've got the teams lining up, Jack. Sort your TV out.
No, I think you're behind, mate.
Oh, am I? Lovely. Good. Well, you can celebrate us winning.
Anyway, the team news, Vrancic is back in and so is Sheeperman. Thoughts on that? Well, we had an interesting conversation straight away when we saw the team news and this man was stuffing his face with Texas barbecue. I'm happier with that. Credit where credit's due. I think
it would have been really ballsy to play Adam, even though I think that Adam is more than capable of starting this football match. I'm just so pleased that Duda's not starting. I'm sorry to be harsh, but I'm so pleased that Daniel Farke realises that he would have literally been insane to start him tonight. This team that's walked out on this pitch now are capable of getting something from tonight's game again. So let's see, as Holty's alluded to, let's see what this collective of players can do. What do you think, old boy? Are you happy?
I was surprised Adam didn't play. I thought he came on the other day. I thought he was excellent.
Brilliant.
Just for his 15 minutes. Look, I'm a massive admirer of the kid. He knows that. I was actually laughing and joking with him the other day. We're at thick phone roundabout and I was like, slow down with his window down. I'm hammering across the car, which was quite funny. I'm a massive admirer of him. I think we could have squeezed him. I think we could have changed, maybe tweaked the formation a little bit to put him in there and maybe play something a little bit different and play him in Timu. I think Timu at the moment needs someone to help him out a little bit because it's tough for him. He ain't getting the chances. He ain't getting the thing. What we do miss is a presence, and Adam gives you that presence. I think there's a lot of times we go back to the centre half, so there's no outlet, and he gives you that presence where you can hit it up to him and hold it up. And he's a young kid, but with a great career and a great future on his hands. But as I said, in terms of the other ones, Stephen coming in is different to all the others. It's a little bit, you look at it, it's back to the Championship last year. That's the Championship team there that effectively won the league in my eyes there, because that's what we started with. So I said, if there's any sink that they know it, the one thing is, you look at the Watford side, which will be coming in a minute, look through it. There's names in there, wily old foxes, and you'll look at Troy Deeney, he'll do everything to buy a foul, do all the donkey work, Danny Welby. You'll see two different sides, and that's the difference. You'll see one team that will do anything to kind of be the old wise heads, and then you've got a young side on the other side. So it's going to be interesting.
No, definitely, and it's interesting. You say that this is essentially the team that got us promoted, and we're now trying to fight for survival in the Premier League with that exact team. The thing that stuck out to me last time we chatted, Holty, is I remember you saying, when we were under pressure in games when you were there, when the defence, cleared it long, you were always, even if you knew you weren't going to get the ball, you were trying to draw a foul or something. That's been the disappointment for me when I've seen Dermich come on. It looks like he knows he's not going to win the ball, so he just almost gives up. And whenever you are in the team, and even when Pookie's in the team, it's almost like he will do something, even if it's not getting hold of the ball. What have you made of Dermich so far?
I don't think he's hit the ground running, but I said it's...
that's one way to put it.
Yeah, it's one way to put it. But
what about his music?
Yeah, but you could look at Timu. You could say the same thing. Timu has been massively off it. I said to you, lads, not long ago, I think Timu blew up for the simple reason he's done that much work with his national team and playing every single minute of every single game. In the start of the season, Timu should have been getting dragged off 15 minutes before the end, 20 minutes to save his legs.
Wow.
He needed to be, because he's playing that many minutes with international and playing there. He needed rest. There was games where we're losing 2-3-0 and he's still on the pitch for the 90th minute. And I think you're seeing the bad rewards of that in terms of how... And he was playing with his toe being injured and stuff like that. So I think that's probably the main reason. And
what you said there, Holt, is really interesting, right? Because when we were up here before, we had a quality player to come on in your place. You had Morrow, who was chomping at the bit to get on the pitch and do something to prove the haters wrong. Whereas at the moment, there's literally no backup. I know Adam Ida's coming through now, of course, fantastic potential there, but at this level, we needed something more proven. I think actually,
Norwich are on the break. I'm not sure what minute you're in, but Hernandez is through on goal. He's been brought down. That's a free kick on the edge of the box. What minute are you in, Chris?
We're 1 minute 20 seconds.
Okay, you're 30 seconds behind me, which could be an issue.
It will be. You're killing the whole thing for us because Hernandez is clean through.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
What are you streaming it through?
Oh, here we go. Hernandez is through.
I'll let you know if it goes in, this free kick. It's a dangerous... maybe while this free kick's happening or when the play's a bit quieter, Chris, have you got normal free view? Because you can get Sky One on there.
Yeah, I'm going via the PlayStation, Jack.
Yeah, maybe don't do that.
Okay, right.
This guy's knocking off now. You tell us where it goes. You can be out.
Right.
Go on, I'll try and put my form on.
Chris Gore moment right now. You need to tell me.
Okay, so Emi Buendia, edge of the box, 25 yards out. He whips one in. It's gone. Oh, it's a great save by Ben Foster. It was nearly going top right-hand corner. 2 minutes 38 on the clock. That is a wonderful free kick by Emi Buendia. It looked like a cross. Foster, wonderful save. Norwich nearly go 1-0 up.
What channel is it on Freeview?
No, that was good,
Number 11.
That was quite good, that, Jack.
Cheers, mate.
Pick. Here we go.
The thing is, well, can I just say one thing about Dermage before we're... oh, yeah, there's a corner. You're on the corner now.
Corner to Matt.
In header.
Oh, yeah, we're up to speed, Jack. We're up to speed.
Okay, there we go, mate. I enjoyed that little commentary patch.
Yeah, it was quite good, though. We might as well knock those off. The one thing I'd quickly say about Dermage, it's very difficult when you haven't kicked the football for a long time in a competitive match to then all of a sudden start to be asked to do 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And people say, well, he should be as professional football. And it isn't easy to get up to speed. When you play 1 week, not the next week, and not the week after, and you come up for 15 minutes, you're either coming on to either defend something, which is completely easier, because all you have to do is hold the ball up, or you're expected to make something out of something. And it's not easy, especially when you've not been playing and you're now coming on to chase a game and people are changing.
And that's why Anel Hernandez is in the team, by the way.
Yeah,
brilliant strength.
Pick pass. Emi Buendia.
Oh, go on.
Oh, it's in!
Yes!
Oh, great finish.
Get in there.
What a start from Norwich City.
Get in there, Emmy.
Great
Superb.
Wow.
Great finish.
What a man. Well played. Good.
And Chris, you said it just before the goal. That is Onel Hernandez's strength right there.
That's why he starts. I mean, look at that there, the desire. That is a player that loves and cares and will do anything for this football club. And what a ball through to Emi. And finally, Emi does what we know he's capable of. I mean, we've missed that all season, haven't we, Jack? I don't think is that. I mean, it's a great finish, but you know, I'm sure you could have pulled that off back in the day.
No, I wouldn't have tried that. But that's a different. Right, look how many people's in the box.
Yeah, agreed. By the way,
do you see what I mean? Like the other week, you watched the game from Brighton.
Oh, what a goal!
Jamal Lewis ran down the line. We had one person in the box. Do you know what I mean? I'll tell you what, but by the way,
a cracking finish.
He's absolutely sent him for a hot dog. But he's just got a bit of my pizza with that shot. I mean, he's absolutely sent. But the difference, getting bodies forward. Do you know what I mean? Trying to drive on and try and get it in, and hopefully that'll give him the confidence now to go on. This is where for the next 20 minutes now, this needs to be solid.
Yeah, see, this is it, Holty, right? We've said this. We have gone ahead in games this season, and we have said at this point, shut the door.
Hang on, just that point there, look. That is the problem right there.
What?
The ball's gone out. We've got possession.
Yeah.
Stieperman's tried to play the ball to someone up through his legs, and then get a throw in on the edge of our 18-yard box.
Criminal.
Just get rid of the ball. You can't be playing.
Keep it simple.
You can't be trying little flicks there because you've just scored. You've got out of pressure. You're now inviting the opportunity to now go in. You now got a throw in there where that could go down the line. You get up the pitch.
It's worth noting as well, Jeff. That's Emi's first Premier League goal of the season.
Jack, honestly, we knew that he had it in his locker. I'm delighted for Emi because he has worked hard this season and he's taken a lot of criticism. I still don't think the attitude, coming off the pitch after a disappointing performance is there. But let's not bring that up too heavy now. It's brilliant to see him do that. But this is it, right? He's not overplayed it. He has an exceptional piece of skill, and that finish there is sublime. Is he playing for a move, Jack?
I don't know. Is that something players do, Holty? Contract coming up. Is that something going about in the dressing room?
Of course they don't, Jack. Don't be silly. That'd be too. Look, you're never going to football. You're always going to football to pitch to perform well. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, I always get annoyed when people go and say they don't really want to be on there. They don't really want to win. They give up. You never got. Look, whatever sport you are, or sportsman, or fan, or whatever. No matter. I say I'll play tennis with the girls and I'll still want to beat them. I know they're only 13 and 14 and 9, but I'll still want to beat them. But you go on there to win, and that's it. And you never do that. I said, I've been critical of Emi at times when he throws his arms up in the air, and I'm like, you give a bad pass away and you blame on everyone else.
Yeah, I agree.
But I said there's a difference between being arrogant and being this and being a winner.
Yeah.
And you can tell he wants to win. He does everything to try and want to win, but sometimes he shows it really poor.
Yeah, actually, Jack, this is quite important, actually. This was a pre-live convo that I had with Holty. We spoke about the difference between arrogance and a winning mentality, and how often it's misinterpreted across football, actually. And we also spoke about how actually it's important to be able to handle big characters in the changing room. You know, the likes of, you know, for example, Balotelli, Diego Costa, and on a smaller scale, you know, I'm sure there's Norwich players in that changing room that, they're a bit lively, but we've got to embrace that. And that's obviously something that's been under scrutiny around Daniel Farke's tenure, as we know, so far. And for me, I think you've got to understand.
See, look at
he's drawn a foul there, isn't he?
Yeah, but look at it. It's like,
is that just a lack of awareness and a bit of naivety
there as well? By the way,
it's just nonsense. It's 8 minutes gone.
You're 8 minutes in. You're already saying it's nonsense.
No, but it is. It is nonsense. You've gone 1-0 up. You've not won for ages. You're 8 minutes into the game. You've gone 1-0 up after 3 minutes. We're doing a throw-in back to Tim Closer on his bad foot. The only thing that's going to go back is to Jammer. Jammer then misses the ball, which he does. He's now been pulled, and now he's got booked against a team that fly down the wings. And it's the naivety. Just throw it down the line and get up the pitch.
And I can sense how frustrated you are, mate, because you were talking about that as well. Is, you know, you would be giving these boys a right or rollicking for that now.
It wouldn't have happened.
But it wouldn't have happened.
Oh no! Oh, it's in.
And there you go. That's what happens. That is it in a nutshell. That is what happens. Do you know what I mean? You've gone from your own throw-in in your final third to throw it back to Tim Closer on his bad foot, and then that goes in your net. Zonal marking again.
Fucking hell. What's your opinion on zonal marking, by the way? Let's get that out.
Well, it doesn't work. Clearly, it doesn't work. Because
simple as
if
that.
you watch Max's man, I think I can't see who he is.
Jamal lost his man. It's Jamal's man.
No, but I'm saying, but technically he's there to block them.
Yeah,
it could be either one. But you don't want Dawson on Alex Tetty. You want someone Ben on someone. But people will look at that and blame not the set piece. He lost his man. No, you lost the throw in.
Yeah, I like that, Holty.
It happened again. It happened again. We've just conceded, and it's a
Jack, something I want to bring up actually is, by the way, what is going on? I mean, this is just frustration here, isn't it? Something I want to bring up, and I'm really interested to get the comments from people on YouTube and Facebook that are watching this right now. Jamal Lewis has started to come under some criticism recently. You know, I'm his biggest fan. He's my favourite player on and off the pitch in that Norwich team. But for me there, I think, you know, that inexperience is starting to show. I think that, you know, I think someone needs to remind him of the basics there, right, Jack?
Yeah, we talked about it before. I think, you know, it is naivety, and these boys haven't played in the Premier League before, and you know, we don't possess them as much quality as Watford on the pitch, and it is just silly to bring.
Yeah, right. Let's have this quality.
Hang on, let me go in here.
Yeah, you go in.
That has got nothing to do with. That is a philosophy that is to keep the ball, but keeping the ball in the bad area. That is trying to keep the ball in the philosophy where it's the game management of the thing. It's the game management. Look, this is what.
Who's that set by? Is that management or is that on the pitch?
Well, it's on the pitch. The manager wants a philosophy, but sometimes you've got to change your whole dynamic, because yes, you want to keep the ball, but I'll tell you one thing: if he throws that down the line, I'll flick it on and way 20 yards up the pitch. Change. We just conceded off this.
Yeah,
we're a free kick away.
Yeah, it's constant, and it's nearly into Watford. I mean, it is just crosses thrown into the box at the moment.
But Jack, I need to give you some stick here again, as always.
Okay, go on, then.
This quality argument for me is horseshit. I'm not having it. The whole reason why you said that this current team was better than Holty's is the supposed quality, yeah? The quick feet, the technical ability. But it's not all about that, because Holty's team, we've seen it before, they stuck together, they stayed strong, they were strict, they were organised. And this team, it doesn't matter what fancy football you're playing, if you can't do the basics, you're done for.
Yeah.
Podcast, we'd have dominated the team by the way we were. Would have made it so awkward for them that they wouldn't have been able to do it. That's the difference.
And the really frustrating thing here is, gents, is that's our first goal in, I think, 7 Premier League games. Lovely bit of quality to put yourselves ahead. And it's just so sloppy to concede. Like, you can almost accept when a good goal goes in against you. But that is just, 1, the free kick is really avoidable to give away. 2, the marking's really poor. It's not even a great header. Like,
it's a championship mentality brought into the Premier League. That's what it is.
Wow.
You can't...
Well, we had someone say last week, Brighton come up with a similar mentality to us, but it took them 2 seasons of buying higher quality players in order to play that style. We've almost kind of come up and gone, yeah, we can play a similar style, but with the same team, and that obviously hasn't worked.
But I think you've got to take it. It's always a fine balance, because we're up earlier than we thought we were going to be.
Yeah,
the football club. So you've got to look at it with 2 different ways. You can't look at it as one. We're up 3 years earlier than the football club wanted to be up earlier, but you're going to have to take it. Why wouldn't you? As it came too early for some of the players, possibly yes. Yeah. The squad, possibly yeah. You'd look at it the other way. You see, we looking at that squad now. If you wanted to sell it, we're probably got about £185 million worth of talent on that pitch at the minute. So
do you think you can get that?
Well, I'm looking at the guy who's got the ball in his hand. He won't be shy of £30 million.
Yeah, I agree, by the way.
The mate who's behind him, who the ball's going to now, is probably going to be worth 35, 40.
The frustration for me, Holt, is, and I do agree, but then I keep thinking, if we're saying Jamal's, Premier League ready, Max is great, Ben's great, that's 3/4 of your defence, and you're still leaking goals every week. Like, surely responsibility has to be taken from them boys.
No, you've got to defend from you can't just expect defence.
But that's what I said, that the Premier League, this is what I'm talking about, the Championship mentality into the Premier League. The Premier League is hard enough to keep a clean sheet when you do everything properly. It's the hardest league, without a shadow of doubt. You'll think you're in a game and you'll be watching it go round and round you, thinking, oh, we're comfortable here. And all of a sudden you'll go, bang, we're 1-0 down.
Yeah.
Because there's that many people that can hurt you. What you can't do is you can't gift people goals. So if it's a scenario, I'll tell you one thing.
That's a gift.
You watch Craig Dawson in a minute. If that ball comes to him, and I know him quite well from Rochdale days and stuff, if he's under pressure and he thinks of any glimpse of any pressure, that ball will hit Troy Deeney on his chest, or it'll go in a channel. Because he'd rather have he won't get it now, but he'd rather have we're 1-1 or 1-2 than actually look great and pass the ball around. You've got to play the game.
Do you think, Holty, do you think that we are overcomplicating football? All of these tacticians, these hipsters that say, it's really nice, this pretty football and stuff, but the way you've just described Craig Dawson's game there, and actually I even think about when you played as well, and the way that you talk about football, it just seems so black and white to you. It seems so simple.
There we go.
Yeah.
Straight away.
There we go. And it was a horrendous kick as well by Dawson, to be fair to him.
I can't believe you've he found his man. It's horrendous,
it wasn't good. It wasn't good technique. He knew what he wanted. But that's the simplicity of it.
I think the thing is people think you can't. Oh, here we go. Norwich.
Is that offside?
No, it looks to be onside. Hernandez has got the ball high up the pitch.
Yeah, well done.
Good strength again to hold off his man. Done very well to deliver the cross. I think people think, gents, is like you can't play that. We can still play free-flowing football and kick it into Rose Ed when we need to. Like, you can have both of them things.
There's a time and a place to do it. Liverpool are the masters, and that's why they're the best at it. If they think they can put the ball at the top and put more salary in behind, it gets hit over the top. If they think they need to keep the 20 minutes, but the difference is they know what they're doing with it. That's why they're the best. And they've got the best players that are able to do that. Do you see what I mean? That's why they are where they are, and there's no doubt about that. We all know they're worth that kind of money.
Jack, something I really want to just give Holty some time on actually was a pre-chat is, Holty, you spoke a lot about the formation, and you spoke about actually what formation are we playing now and what formation were we playing under Chris Hughton. And
he's chucking out secrets from the green room.
Well, why not? Let's put it in the room. I think it's really interesting. No, but the point of the conversation, I'm not going to throw Holty under the bus because it's not fair. But what I will say is, you're able to be flexible and you're able to still keep your philosophy but change formation. And for me, in so many games this season, we have been, I say we collectively because I don't like to say names too necessarily, but I'll just say it. Daniel Farke's been way too stubborn. I don't see why we've not been able to change our formation more often based on the opposition that we're playing up against. And something else I want to bring up, actually, Holty, which I know I've had a lot of people offline ask me this. If you're in this team, because people have been giving Timu Pukki some stick at the moment. Now, if you're in this team, do you think that, in your prime, of course, do you think that how are you performing at the moment in this team? Because a lot of people are blaming Timu, but my argument is Timu hasn't been given any service whatsoever.
It's the same. The reason I was saying the comparison with Chris Hughton was, what I was basically saying is Chris Hughton played one certain way. It was 4-2-3-1, and that was it. It changed. Effectively, a lot of the times it was 4-5-1 when we did it. But I'd probably say that it was very similar in terms of how we played philosophy. And I was saying in terms of we probably keep the ball better, the current side than Chris is in that big, because we were a different squad who came from a certain way of playing under Paul. And a lot of us were still in that mindset and struggled to get under Chris's kind of the way he'd done it. The reason I was saying that was in terms of, because when I seen the stat yesterday about the goals we've scored and the goals we've conceded, it was a little bit, it's quite similar in terms. And I was just making the point that Chris was very stuck in his ways and he kind of put his philosophy, and we only ever really changed when we needed to. And I was saying that, Jack, it's all right. You can keep your philosophy as much as you want, which is fine. But you can still do that in different formations. If it's going to be a team that keeps it. And we have seen Daniel change but a little bit, but it's normally when we're behind or we're trying to get something out of the game. I think about Sheffield Wednesday last year when we scored the free kick. We just kind of changed everything and put it on. And I think there's times we can change the formation, because I think it was more to do with after the lockdown, because after the lockdown we had an opportunity where you now come on. I said there's not very times in the season when you're having a bit of a beast and you now get 3 months off to really go, right, we're coming back. Yeah. And I think the players should have came back with a different mindset of like, this is how we're going to try and do something. And I think that's been the fans' biggest disappointment as we've came back. But I don't think you have to lose your philosophy. I think sometimes you can change the way we are, because I think Timu's getting all the abuse and he's not doing this and he's not doing that. He's doing what he's there to do.
Yeah, that's my point.
It's quick, actually. That's a good segment.
Here we go.
Roger through here. I just saw a stat. I'll bring it up in a moment. But Emmy's about to strike one, maybe a touch too many. Yeah, touch too many. It just came up. We've got the lowest shot conversion in the league, 6%. The next worst is Watford on 8%. So if you're looking at that stat, pretty simply, we're creating the chances, we're just not finishing them.
But it depends on, I said this the other day, it depends on what you call a chance. I look at Emmy's stats and he says he's created the most chances. Has he? Really? Because he hasn't. He hasn't. I don't care what the stats says in the Football League. He definitely hasn't created the most chances. You can write that whichever way, because if he did, and I know for a fact, if he did give Timu Pukki the chances that they're supposed to give him, he ain't missing, because he's a hell of a finisher.
People love statistics, Jack, because
I'm just going to change my lighting. Carry on.
Because you can pull up a statistic to go in your favour. That is the point. Now, whilst Jack's away,
but I think the Premier League one's different, because they don't need to do a favour for Timu for Buendia.
No, they don't. They don't at all, mate. You're bang on the money.
But I just think it's like, what is a chance created?
Oh, that's nice from Max there. Now give it. Well done. Jack, I need to say a couple of things for the viewers. First of all, there's been a comment from Pete Reeve, of course, Rafa Benitez lookalike on YouTube. That says, ask Jack about his putting. Now, Jack, you went and played golf with Wes today.
Yeah.
What was your putting like today, please?
So it was me, Wes, Rafa Reeve, your father, and Mike Milligan. And I think let's ask Rafa what his final score was. I think he was 4. I was 3 puttings to give him a chance.
And I also just want to say,
oh, they're in here.
Oh, get it out.
Well done, Ben Godfrey.
By the way, Ben Godfrey there, class. Just want to say a massive thank you to everyone joining us again tonight. Absolutely brilliant to see everyone here in numbers. And I want to give a special shout out to Nazran Ali Lequat. I'm going to try and pronounce it as love from Karachi, Pakistan. Love from all over the world. Love to see everyone in here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Talk Norwich City Watch Along.
Definitely. Lots of people saying I need a haircut. I completely agree. Holty, what's your kind of lockdown haircut things been? Has your good wife been cutting?
She's done well there, hasn't she?
Well, she's a hairdresser by trade, but she's a woman of a lot of skills. I won't elaborate on that. I've been fortunate actually. She's done my hair, so she's all right. So she's a decent hairdresser, but she hates doing it. So,
Okay.
which has been all right.
By the way, fantastic business, by the way, Faye Holt runs, called Fezzer and Dell. Make sure you search that on Instagram immediately.
And get me some more work, because I seem to be doing more work for Fezzer and Dell at the moment. Now I'm on furlough than anything else, which is nuts.
No, but on a serious note, if there's any blokes in this live now that are watching and you need to treat the missus, which, let's be honest, now the football's back on, you're going to need to get some girlfriends, some wife points. Make sure you go over to Fezzer and Dell tonight. Here we go. Drinks break. Now, I said this in the live last time.
Get these drinks breaks. I honestly don't.
No, Jack. Seriously, and everyone in here, watch the player's body language towards Daniel Farker. That's all I'm saying. That's what I said last time. What a finish, by the way. Holty, another Stella?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no problem, buddy.
Let's quickly, so we're 23 minutes in.
Yeah.
The positives are, Holty, we've scored a goal, and it was a good goal.
Yeah, we've been positive.
What have we made of the initial sort of quarter of the game?
I think they've been more positive today than I've seen them the last few weeks. I think even the goal after that, they've gone and had a right go. In terms of where they are, you can see Nigel Pearson isn't happy. He's trying to change something already. So he's obviously saying, I think they've been pretty positive. They've been fast and flowing, getting bodies in the box has been the main thing. You look at the last two breaks there, we've had 5-6 players in and around the box, and Max Aaron's people. That hasn't been there the last few weeks. We've been going. There was one the other day. Jamal Lewis ran all the way down the line, put a cross in. There's one. I think it was Dimich was in there. And you're thinking, you ain't going to score. And all we had to do was a turnover and run all the way back. And I think that's been more positive today.
Does this team look slightly more balanced to you?
I think whoever they play looks balanced. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't think it's a. I think everyone knows the job. Everyone knows the job. I think it's just a case of, here he goes, getting his on the ball city out. Look,
here it is.
Comment before we get on. Colin Cunningham says, "Great to see." Oh, through. Pookie's in.
What's him? Oh, it's too short.
We've been offside anyway, I think.
Anyway, Colin says, "Great to see Grant Holt watching as a fan." Of course, Holty's a fan of Norwich City.
Although he finds it just as hard as us to watch this shit, I'm sure.
Pete Reeves saying, I'm liking this and fancying Emmy hat-trick.
Cool. Imagine the money you'd get on that, by the way.
He only had one beer in the clubhouse.
He must have had a couple of beers, did he, after the golf?
I hope not. I hope not his health.
No, I think the one beer a day kind of helps the ticker a little bit. Okay, question. Alex Parnell. I'd like to ask Holty what he'd be saying to these players as a leader in the dressing room in the drinks break. Where's our leadership coming? All right, Holty, let's Watford are in here. Let's quickly see what happens here. Good save by Tim Krul.
Jesus.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, it's cleared. Holty, 1-1, 25 minutes. We're in a relegation battle. Drinks breaks come. What's our number 9 saying?
I think it's more, you'd be more having a pop about the goal, to be honest, than anything else. And then saying, well, just keep doing what we're doing, trying to do the right things. And the frustration will come in the drinks, but you deal with that as the goal goes on. That's what I said. It's the next one. I think you just got to be pretty happy, I think, at the start. You're saying, you'd probably be giving it the old, forget the goal, get on with it, limit what we're trying to do, keep doing what we're doing, keep being positive, and stuff like that. There's not really that much there. The goal, I think sometimes, I don't think there's expectancy that the goal goes in a little bit because you keep trying to keep the ball and you've over-egged it. Jamal won't be happy, but...
Go on, Emmy. Run, Emmy.
Like a foul.
Go on.
That's not a foul. He's fell over.
Yeah.
Look, get up. Get up.
See there? Yeah.
Get up, look. They're on the attack.
We said it, and this is why we wanted Holty on, because we need...
He should be back in now.
Someone qualified, Jack, saying that says it all. Says it all.
That's what it's not just him.
But why are they flapping? Why are they blaming other people? Why are they putting together?
He thinks you get the foul, but the thing is you're in a dogfight.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in a dogfight. Get up, get back in. And then what you do is
100%.
you get up, you run after the ball.
Yes.
You give a silly little foul away, make sure you don't get booked, and then when the play stops, you just have a rant at the referee to find out why he's not give it. But they'll do one or two things. He'll either stop the whole player and have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
but then they're not on the attack.
Yeah.
It's a corner whipped in. Watford player hides the heart.
Dawson again, that.
Doesn't look
Yeah,
good.
it's an unmarked once again. Pookie does well there to clear it. And Norwich could break here through Stiepermann.
Jack, are you worried that we will even... Oh, unlucky. Are you worried, Jack, that like, we've been found out in the Premier League without a shadow of a doubt? Are you worried that, you know, playing the current system we are, and particularly losing our best assets predictably in the summer, do you think that there's a risk that we're going to be found out, so to speak, in the Championship? I know that you were recently under a lot of heat on Twitter for saying that, you know, it's going to be a lot harder than most people think to be, you know, to bounce back again.
Hang on, that's a stunning ball from Vrancic. It's Hernandez on the left again. Here we go.
Get out your feet. Get out your feet. Oh.
Maybe another chance.
So you're saying give that there, Holty. I'm saying put your foot through it.
One touch too many again.
No, see, I'd have slid. He should have slid the.
Why would you have gone for a little under your feet thing there?
No, he should have rolled Jamal in. So
that
probably gives you the sheer pace. There you go. That's what I said. He's run across without his head up. Then that's what he's giving.
That's interesting, and I've not heard that before. But you're totally right, mate. And I got in a bit of a spat with Huckabee over this on our last live. He's right. He is right. I think that Anel is probably one of our best players in the team at the moment, just purely because he causes problems. He causes problems.
Pace kills you.
But you're right, Holty. Imagine if Anel got his head up. That would make him a much better player.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
Pace kills you. That there's no doubt that the pace is one of them things that the athleticism gets you. Do you know what I mean?
By the way, superb from Ben to get across there. By the way, showing himself.
I think that was a perfect example, that phase of play. You were saying, like, am I worried that this style might not work again in the Championship? I think in the Championship there, Onel gets another yard and the defender isn't as quick in and he gets his shot away. I think in the Championship, you've just got an extra yard.
That's the difference. That's where you've got to learn, Jack. That's the difference. You've got to learn quickly that you're not at that level anymore. You're now in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So you either got to move. The reason the best stay up there is because they think quicker and they know how to adapt quickly.
So do you think, Holty, that not only we've been naive, but also
Mario, great pass again.
It's ridiculous that we've not changed it. Is that what you're trying to say?
What do you mean change what?
Well, the formation, the tactics.
No, I think you've got to give them an opportunity to be up there. You know what I mean? The lads have deserved it, and I'm not saying they're not good players. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying they're not learning. No, I'm just saying that.
That's what I mean.
I just don't think
they're not learning from those mistakes.
I think they're learning too late. They've learned too late in terms of like.
Have they even learned, Holty? Have they even learned?
Well, not with the goals, you wouldn't think. No.
I don't.
I still think when you watch them,
by the way,
I still think when you watch the team that they're good to watch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're frustrating to watch. They make me frustrated.
Oh, what a pass.
Oh, it's a bit too heavy, mate. Yeah, it's too heavy.
But it's good play. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't watch the team and think that's why they get plaudits. Because the way they've done against certain stuff. And that's why the big teams like Man City and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like they're a good team to watch. It's just their own. They just make too many mistakes too often. And then mistakes in the Premier League are just too brutal that you can't get them back.
But I don't even think, so Holty, this is a really interesting point actually, because I think you're right. But I don't, and we've said this time after time this season, we've been rolled over maybe 5 tops 6 times this season, like rolled over. We've always been in games. And that's the frustrating thing for me, is that I actually think it's our own doing. Like, you don't mind if you get done.
I'm going to give you.
If you get done by a 25, 30-yard strike, you hold your hands up, don't you? You say, "Oh, fair play."
I'm going to give you a flip side of the coin. Then
go on.
Why are they always in the game?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, why are they always in the game? So, is the reason you get spanked because you try and get back in the game? So, like,
do you think,
for instance, when you go to Man United, we went there with Chris Hughton and we had a go, and he wanted to sit in, but we decided to have gone. We got done 4-0. And he was totally right at the end. You've got to think about the goal difference. You've been done 4-0. Under Paul Lambert, when we're at Man City.
Oh, my God.
Oh, great save.
But again, it's the set pieces, lads, isn't it?
Superb there.
I mean, that ball has found its way right this way through to Tim Krul there.
See, the thing is as well, sorry, Holty, you were just saying, actually. You were just saying, mate.
Yeah.
Paul Lambert.
So I was saying, Paul Lambert, Man City, we're 2-0 down, and he's like, just get after them. Just get after them. You need to do something. We ended up getting beat 5, I think it was, in the end. Balotelli with the shoulder, I think it was.
But
Watford are carving us apart here. Good tackle by Matt.
You say that, but actually, I know full well there'll be fans watching this now that will say, well, I'd rather watch us get 5-0 having a go than just sitting back and losing 1-0 because that's just shit football. Yeah. So actually,
that's what I'm saying. That's the
argument. I agree. Yeah.
So you're saying about being rolled over. Here again, look.
Yeah.
Just bully. By the way, I think is Pookie lucky there? By the way.
Yeah, he's lucky there. Yeah.
I think Watford have got a fair shout there. By the way. That's just my opinion.
He's not looking at it though, is he?
There you go.
No, I think that's it. It's like you can talk about being in the game. But
it's a great debate.
What is being in the game?
Yeah.
It's like, do you go for it? Do you lose 2? Do you lose 3? Do you wait to 5 minutes towards the end because it's still 1-0?
See,
the thing in the Premier League, if you got 2, if a team goes 2-0 up, they can defend and they can attack you at the same point because that's the Premier League.
See, but Holty, when we were up with you, if we were losing games, we would be throwing on 2, if not all 3 of our subs at once to try and win the game of football. But we've only seen that from Daniel Farker in the last 3 games, and it's completely fell on its arse. So why is that?
Well, that's what I said. Is it the quality that's coming on, or is it the way that it's too late kind of thing? I don't know. You'll never know. That's what I said. It's a difficult one when you're chucking all your trust in Adamida to go on and score your other goals. I've got no doubt in the next 5 years that he'll be banging 20 goals a season in quite comfortably.
Really? Do you think that?
Yeah,
that's a massive compliment.
Yeah, I do. I really like him. I think as a kid he's really good.
That's huge.
I think he's humble. I think, but he's got all the tools and attributes to go and really light somewhere up. But I just think in terms of the way they are, we're a good team to watch, and that's the scariest thing. It's just been real mistakes at bad times.
Yeah.
We overplay too much. I don't care what anyone says.
Do you think?
Yes, massively. The free kick's a prime example of overplaying.
Right.
A prime example. You're giving a free kick away for no reason, just for kicking it away. Look now. Look.
Yeah.
So do you think, Holty, we actually need to be a little bit more aggressive in our play? Like, I know that I will get pelts for this, but
class.
Oh, brilliant there, by the way. See that's the football that we know that the boys can do. We know they've got that in their locker.
But then there's the poor cross.
But look how many bodies are in the box.
Yeah, I like.
You see what I mean? It's a better. Straight away, you can see that we've got chances there by more people being in it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I think in the first 35 minutes, if you are just joining us, welcome along. This is our watch along for the Watford game. We're 35 minutes in. It's 1-1. We've got Holty as a special guest today, which is brilliant. If you've got any questions for him, please do comment and we'll try and get through them. But I don't know about you, gents, but I just feel like there's a bit more press from these lads today.
Yeah, definitely. I think they would have had hopefully someone's given them a rocket up their arse because they were nowhere near it for the last 3 games. I'm not even. Oh, brilliant! Well done. Oh,
yes. That's better though. That's better.
Yeah, and it's also reflective of how many chances that man's having at the moment because you don't see that in the Championship.
I've seen one on Saturday, and I've seen. The one on Saturday was very similar, but about 3-4 yards wide. And he tried out. I thought you wouldn't have done that last year.
Interesting.
He'd have passed it off.
Do you think it's desperation now to score, Holty?
It's not desperation. So I think it's just a case of he ain't getting the chances. So when you actually get the thing is when the Premier League, I was saying it to you, wasn't I, about when people ask you about who's the best defender you play against and stuff. It's always a difficult conversation because for half the time in this match you defend. So if you watch Timo's position. Half the time you end up defending, especially against the top 6 or 7, you'd say. You defend probably 70% of the time, you attack 30. It's not the time you're tired. So when you get the opportunity, it's very rare that the ball comes. So it's a little bit like you don't really, if you think you've got half a chance of having the shots forward, you take it on.
Do you?
Because you might not get it again, unless it's blatant where someone's in. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't be selfish enough to do it the other way. But
I think that's something that as fans we probably don't appreciate, Holty, but you will totally appreciate is as you said, there's games where you're literally only going to get one chance because you're playing against some of the best defenders in the world.
Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah. So it's difficult to not take the shot. It's difficult to not strike it because you're gonna get hot-headed and you are gonna have a go. By the way, superb there. Superb from Maxi.
Plus, it's interesting. Right
there, right? Max Aaron's just done brilliant between the two of them.
Yeah.
They then give the ball away again between the two of them.
How, Holty? Why is the communication not there?
Well, no, it's just because they've been pressed because they're still trying to play. It's like now they've lost the ball again, so they now have to run it. There's nothing. The hardest thing in the world is running after the ball, especially in the modern game now, because this happens for about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
That's really.
If anyone's watched any 23s football, you'll know what it's like.
See, Holty, I know you're saying that, but
Jamal's getting done. All ends up there.
Oh, see, I know you're saying that, Holty, but why? So you're saying that, but when you played, you were buzzing about that forward line, I would have questioned whether you'd passed the drugs test on many occasions because you were just on one.
But that was my strength.
Yeah, but we don't see that. But you're saying it's difficult to run, but you made it, or maybe you just made it look like it wasn't difficult. So what is that? Why is that desire from the forward line, chasing balls down? Why is that not happening often enough? Because, I mean, and I'm sorry to say it, but with Josip, he's literally, there's times where he's just, walking around the pitch like he doesn't give a shit. So what's going on there?
These two, sorry, just to cut across, these two have started well on that.
Who?
Emmy and Anel.
Emmy and Anel.
Emmy's taking up some great positions.
Yeah, I agree. And Mario, by the way, playing some really, really good forward balls, cutting through the lines.
I'll tell you what's quite interesting. We talk about
brilliant there, by the way.
A lot of people last year with Steepleman didn't really know what he done. He didn't really get that much credit apart from him hit the old thing once. But I think by you see him singing there as number 10, they play completely different when he's in there.
Yeah.
The amount of balls that actually get played into the number 10 when he plays,
that's interesting.
Is quite. If you watch Mario when he gets it, the amount of balls he plays in there, I'd probably say is more than I've seen anyone play in the last few weeks.
I agree, Holty. I feel like when Steepman isn't in the team, and I'm not saying his exclusion's been the reason we haven't looked good this season, but it just feels a bit more like we feel disjointed without him in the side.
He gives a little bit of difference.
Oh, get out. Well done, Tim.
From the first 30 minutes, and it might just be because, I don't know, it looks like all of Watford's players coming down our left side, their right. Is it them overloading? Is it Jamal not dealing well enough? What's that going on there?
I think it's probably a little bit more the rotation. I think we always find with our fullbacks, they're very isolated in terms of, we'll just big steep them up and just give the ball away. It's always the way, innit? I think the way we play with our fullbacks being so high and so wide.
We're on a book him.
He's already booked as well, by the way. I think with our fullbacks being so high and so wide, and the wingers rotating so much, that when we get a turnover, a ball quickly, the chance of them being exposed is massive. Because that's where they're straight at. And I don't think it's a fact of they're out of position, or I think a lot of time they get overloaded. And it isn't because they're not working hard. It's because the way we rotate in the pitch so much, the first simple pass is wide.
Yeah.
And that's where we end up getting overloaded so much. I don't think it's a problem. I think that is the problem within a problem, if that makes sense.
Jack, there's a lot of questions in here for Holty. Let's get a couple of these in.
Yeah. Let's start with Stuart Hodge, our good friend Stuart Hodge. He says so much more zip about it all for Norwich City, although hosts sitting so deep is helping us. The cohesion is tangibly better. I suppose that isn't really a question as we get a free kick. Let's see if there's any more questions.
There's one at the top. I think it was on Facebook saying, would anyone in this team get in his team? Which is a brave question to ask.
Yeah, here we go. Matt Loveday.
Good luck, Sunshine.
Is anyone in this team? Well, I said this before, and that.
Which one of your mates you dropping?
Oh God, he nearly scored there again. Cross. Yeah. Got to stop the cross.
Yeah.
No one's getting in this team. Out of mine. Now, there's lads in there, that squad, who are very good players, and arguably could probably take the place of some of my colleagues and friends in my team.
You don't have Max Aarons over Russ, no?
No. Not the way we play, I wouldn't, anyway.
Yeah, true.
not in the Championship and League One with loads of crosses coming in. I need him at the back stick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair.
But I said the talent. There's some unbelievable talent here. The value that some of our players are going to be worth is phenomenal. I just don't think the best teams aren't always got the best players. The best players bloody help, but in terms of like in teams, that doesn't make a team. Like we weren't the best team in the Championship.
Yeah.
In terms of what people thought we player-wise, but we were the best team without a shadow of a doubt. We were the best team in that Championship. And that, I mean, I'm so sorry, I'm talking about this team. This team was the best team in the Championship by far for me, the way we were last year.
Yeah, agreed.
And I don't think you can argue with that. But I said when we went up, I don't think we were the best team in the Championship. We were the best team because we had the best ethic.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Look at that, right?
Yeah,
that's better.
The pressure's off now.
That looks
off.
That looks so.
Yeah.
It looks so awful. It looks so awful. But he's managed to volley the ball 70 yards down the pitch. We've been under pressure off 2 free kicks and a cross. So they've nearly scored. The ball bounced away. Simple as that. Done.
Oh no!
And even better, you managed to kick him on the back at the same time. What better than that do you want? Because it's now gone 72. The game's now stopped when you're under pressure.
Oh dear!
It is. You're saying, "Oh, do you look?"
No.
Right, look. Right, no. I'm not going to go over this point. Right. Look how long it's took now from that clearance.
You are literally a proper shithouse, aren't you?
Yeah. What do you mean?
You would do anything to win a game of football.
But it's game management.
It's a game, isn't it?
They've had a cross came in from wide. They nearly scored.
Yeah.
They end up having a free kick where he gets a header on.
Yeah.
They then nearly get on the second ball.
Yeah.
He's now volleyed the ball 72 yards.
I love it.
Kicked him in the back. The game stopped.
No, I love it.
And that's it. That one needs to go exactly the same place.
Yeah, just rosette it. I've been saying this for weeks, mate. I think, Holty, this is sounding like if you were a manager, you would be Tony Pulis.
This is a good question from Kevin. He said, "Hi, Holty. Should we have signed Danny Pacheco?"
Well, I'd have took him.
Yeah, good player, right?
Yeah, I'd have definitely took him. He'd been so different for everything we had. I think it was more a deal with Liverpool. Liverpool didn't want to let him go, though, did they, at the time?
That was one of the things that hurt me. Like that was one of the players that I just wish that we'd got. And Holty,
didn't he?
Something I've been.
He's on Instagram. Follow Danny Pacheco. It's quite funny.
Something that I've been burning to ask you, mate, is a word on Alex Tete. Of course, you played with the man himself. I think
he's an interesting. Can I just before you go over there,
go on.
Right. So I seen a poll this week of players who were talking about getting Player of the Year, and I think I seen Tim Krul in there.
Yeah.
Todd, Alex Tete, Max Aarons was in there. Todd was in there. Yeah. I think so. I just. I don't know, a team who I think was kind of on the peripheral, but if you look at that again, you've now got 4 out of the all defensive players are now in for the Player of the Year. Yeah, which goes back to the Chris Hughton thing when he was there. That we had 4 players going for the Player of the Year. Yeah, so I think that tells you. But look, Alex Tete is Alex Tete. You won't get anyone better than Alex Tete at what he does.
But what does that mean, Holty? Because I think that gets misinterpreted.
Well, you tell me one time at the minute where he's been out of position.
No. I'm not criticising him. I want your take on it because a lot of people are saying, why are we still in a position where we're relying on Alex Tete to fill the holes in this Norwich City team?
Well, but that's the problem then. It's not his problem.
Oh, no, I know that.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I'm saying. The problem you got is when you're asking him to do that at his age, to actually be that stalwart to do it.
Yeah. He's done well, hasn't he, for his age? He's done incredibly well for his age.
Of course he has, but he knows that Alex is always the same. You know exactly what you're going to get with him when you put on the pitch.
Yeah.
Technically, he's good at keeping it short and sharp. We're not asking him to hit 50-yard diagonals because that is definitely not his game. But you'll notice more than often when the ball comes in his area, he's always where he should be. And he gives them that bit of balance. The trouble you've got is it's a tough league to keep doing that week in, week out. And he'd be the first to tell you, he's still got his knees aren't the best in the world because he's obviously getting older, but he still does a great job.
Definitely. Just a quick question quickly for Holty. John Boy asks, is there too much of a premium placed on youth in football in general? However wonderfully talented they may be, they lack experience of the players proven in the Premier League. What do we think about that, Holty?
Well, the trouble you've got is, what do you do from it then? You're saying about youth, do you not play Max Aarons? because arguably he'd get in the top. Out of all the Premier League teams, I don't think there's many out there that probably wouldn't take him if it was the right price.
Yeah.
Is it about the balance?
I'm not saying there's obviously a balance, but how do you stop playing someone like him? Do you know what I mean? Do you go, oh well, Max isn't playing the Premier League. He's had 1 year in the Championship. We're now going to put him in the Premier League, but we're not so sure he's going to play. You've got to play him. But that's having the help behind the scenes to help him in terms of it's having the other characters like Grant Hanley and people like that, and Tim and everyone like that in the background to enhance what they're going to do. But if you're not on the pitch, there's only so much you can influence.
And Holty, this is what I was going to say: is a lot of the leaders we had when you played were on that pitch, and they didn't really seem to ever get injured. And there was almost there was a spine of leaders. Like I remember, even with the Barclay at full volume, you could always hear John bellowing out. You know, you were up there, clearly vocal as ever. You know, we had Bradley Johnson in there. You know, we've had some big players, Russ as well, barking orders. But when all of your leaders are not even on the bench, but literally just not even in, are they even in the change room? I think it's very evident.
Do you know it's quite evident the other day, and I was literally watching. Yeah. I was watching Bristol City the other day, Corey Smith. Oh, yeah. And you're watching the game and Corey Smith's got an armband on him. Yeah. You start thinking to yourself, is Corey Smith, he was with us for a short spell, in that spell, and being in and around that squad and being where he went on to thing, you look at now and he might not be, but has he got them qualities to be that leader because of that group of players he was in when he came through?
Interesting, yeah, really good point.
Really good point. Corey like he was always a great kid and determined to go on, and he was always going to have a good career because he was so determined to go and play football. He was always going to have a good career. I'm not saying we made him better, but it makes you wonder from the group and the environment that he was in. How did that enhance what he went on to do? Yeah.
You look at, Cameron McGeehan, who was granted in the youth rank while you were there. He's ripping up in, he's at Pompey now, isn't he? Took a leadership role at Luton, that kind of mould.
Well, I just think that shows the legacy of that great Norwich City side. I really do. It says everything you need to know about it, doesn't it? It really does.
Right, let's get Colin Rogers' thoughts, because we've talked about him a lot. He's having Ida on as a substitute. If Colin's the manager, Ida's coming on. Gents, are we agreeing or disagreeing with Colin there?
What, after half time, straight away?
Yeah.
I don't think why.
Yeah.
I don't think we played that bad.
No, I don't either.
I think in terms of the first half, I think it's been pretty even. I think it's inevitable that we need to stop giving free kicks away. They're the biggest evidence that needs to stop ASAP. Giving corners away because the dangers are for all to see. I think attacking wise, we've been quite comfortable. I don't think Timu's had a chance, so he can't do everything. He can't do everything. But you look at Aguero, like probably the best of the best finisher in the Premier League. If he ain't getting chances, he ain't putting the back of the net.
Oh, this is what I was saying, mate. This is exactly what I'm saying.
If he'd missed 4 or 5 chances now, I'd be like,
this is it. I do not buy the criticism of Timu. Like, even if Timu is knackered, I think if he's getting the service and he's knackered, he's still scoring goals. Can you remember the last time that Pukki had a one-on-one? Can you remember
I think the thing is, and it's plain and simple. You've got Pukki on 11 goals, you've got Todd on 7, and then before, Emmy's got 1 and Dermich has got 1. We've got no midfielders chipping in with goals, have we?
We only play with 2 though.
Well, yeah, but okay, Buendia, Hernandez, none of them have got goals.
Well, that's what I mean.
Well, Hernandez hasn't been starting.
Yeah, I just don't think there's not enough. He doesn't get enough chances. That's plain simple. That's it. There's no taking him on, taking him off. Adam will give you more dynamically because you're going behind. Do we play balls in behind? No, we don't.
Jack, comment on here. Thank you for answering me, John. John on Facebook says Leicester away, last one-on-one for Pukki, and John, I think that feels right for me as well. But I know we've had the 3 months off, but for God's sake, that's a horrific stat for your striker to, only have a one-on-one that many months ago. That's an absolute stinker.
It's a good question. Julian Scott, which one defender from Holty's Norwich teams does Grant think would make the most difference to this present leaky defence? Elliot Ward?
What, Elliot Ward in terms of what? Play on the left?
Get him in the centre-back.
I think if you had someone like... I want to say someone like...
Zach Whitbread?
No, because he's not a barker.
Leon Barnett. Oh, you want a barker, do you?
Yeah, I think someone like
Yeah, I love that.
Someone like a Leon Barnett or a Michael Nelson or Russ when he played like centre half. Do you know what I mean? Like someone who could bark it out here.
But is Tim White doing that?
Yeah, but I just think
Not enough.
I don't know. I just think for me,
Couple of barkers.
the way they are, if you want to slide one into that group, probably like Leon Barnett is probably the most underrated centre half we've ever had. I think because he was so good in terms of reading the game in situations where we're under pressure to get a long leg round and get a limb on it, or his jumping for headers was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Someone like him, like now, in that athleticism, but the other side with Leon, which he'll be hoping is you get the Alex Tetty factor where he's not the most, he wouldn't play 500 passes, he'd rather just get rid of it. And he'd be open enough to say it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Oliver Hill's got a question.
I don't think it's a back four. I think it's not. I said this point to someone today. It's not a leaky defence. This is what people need to get out of their head. When you defend as 11. You don't defend as a 4. This needs to disappear.
100%.
It's a whole squad. It's a Premier League mentality.
Yeah.
Where you go from one to the next. You can't defend just as a 4 because you'll get hurt.
Yeah.
Interesting. What does Holty think of this season's recruitment, and should Webber be getting a lot more of the heat rather than Farker?
I think in terms of recruitment, it's very. They do know I work in recruitment of the club. Is that why they're trying to throw me on the bus here? Or?
I think it's a sense of we look at the team on the pitch today. It is the championship side, isn't it?
What do you want? Do you want to be? Look, we've got to be realistic, and this really annoys me. We've got to be realistic that. How much do you want to spend? Do you want to blow 100 million? Do you want to just blow it and say it's done?
But
do you want to blow it?
Well, I don't want to blow it. No, right. I mean, I just want a bit of a medium. So
who do you want then?
I want a little hybrid. I don't want 700 grand Holty. I want maybe 12 million, maybe.
Chris, we say 700 grand. We've got. I think we're in the top 10 of agents' fees in terms of loan signings. We spent nearly 7 million on agents' fees and wages. So.
That's not good enough, is it?
Maybe some of the loan signings, Ralph Farman, Patrick Roberts, Amadou.
Yeah.
Could they have maybe been slightly better?
But don't forget, Jack, right? A lot of people are now turning their heads at and people love having someone to blame. They love it. I think we all just need to be a little bit careful, because there's no way that you're telling me that Stuart Webber just plucks a player out of thin air and just says, Daniel, you have to play that player. Daniel has to. He has to. Yeah, I know. But a lot of people think that Stuart just gets the players in, and then Daniel has to play them.
Look, the way you got to think about it is
Daniel has to want them.
Some people are fishing in the sea, and others are fishing in the pond.
Oh wow,
I like that.
That's where you got to think about stuff.
What pond are we fishing in?
Well, that's a very small one.
But you can get a nice duck out of a good pond.
Well, you can with a bit of cherry sauce, but that's a different conversation over there. And that's the difference. We're in a completely different ballpark to other people. We can't just ball into somewhere and go and pay this kind of money, because we've look. We've just been lucky. Let me finish. No, let me finish.
And I suppose we're fishing with a stick rather than a carbon fibre rod, aren't we?
Are you slagging yourself now? Right. What I'm saying is, there's either two ways the football clubs run. We've got 6 million quid, and we've got probably now a training ground that is worthy of what our academy should be.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we've got. There's a lot of money gone in the background in terms of the building, in terms of getting the structure right in the academy, buying players in the academy, which we've spent money on the 23s and the 18s and the 15s and 16s. And we've got some very, very good kids coming through, which is testament to Stuart and all the other departments, all the way down recruitment, Jay Marshall, and people have been there before. So we've got some very, very good players coming through the thing. Money's been spent in the background. In the top end, do we go down the route of spending massive amount on players again and getting our fingers burnt by wages and everything on the top? I'm not going to name names, but
I will.
Yeah, you can. But do we go down that route? But then that's bad recruitment itself, because there's nothing wrong with Naismith as he came in. He just didn't work with the recruitment. He was never the player for that manager. He shouldn't have came, really. But we've got to be realistic. The club needs to sustain itself for a long, long time. And we can't afford to go out and spend 50, 60, 70, 80 million quid. And
we're not asking for that though, Holty. I'm sorry
what
to rear up at you.
What are you asking for then?
Well, I'm asking for 12.
What, 12 million?
Yeah, come on, give us 12.
Right.
I mean, let's be.
For one player, 2 players, 3?
I mean, but even if you, one good centre half.
You tell me what 12 million gets you now. You get me a centre. You go on, then you get me a good centre half.
No, I like that. No, I like that for you. No, I like that.
You can't get one.
You're right.
So, Holt, are you essentially saying
it's 12 million? 12 million. If you go and bank 12 million pound up, so Max Aarons, for instance, we use him for example.
Yeah.
Someone comes in tomorrow and offers 20 million pound for Max Aarons.
Yeah.
He goes for 20 million pound.
No.
He ain't walk. No, just using a hypothetical. Don't panic, Norwich fans. If he walks in that door, his agent ain't going to go, well, you've paid 20 million quid, but I tell you what, because you've paid 20 million pound, we'll just have a 1-year contract and can we have 20,000 pound a week, please? It ain't happening. So your 12 million pound then comes with wages. 3 years, 4 years worth of wages, bonuses, and everything on top. It's a fine line. Look at the way, like Aston Villa. There's a lot of teams like Brighton, for instance, through this whole scheme of everything that's gone on, have been very struggling because they're very much orientated in one way of how they do people through the door. Same as Norwich have. We have seen tickets to pay for that. And pandemic. So which side of the fence do you want to sit on? Do you want to be, if we go down, that we're going to struggle again? Or do you want to be a long, sustainable football club with a philosophy where we're going to go? And I think people have got to get a head round. The trouble we've got is football fans. I'm going to right round here.
No, I love it. Go on.
The trouble I'm going is everyone wishes to be in the Premier League. And then you hear the stupid comments of people saying, I'd rather be in the Championship because we win down there and win games.
Oh, awful. Yeah.
It's a stupid. You play football to go in the best league in the world. Then you've got to worry about how do you stay there? Can you stay there? Is it then to the detriment for you all the way? Do you end up going like Sheffield Wednesday done? Probably what we were talking about the other day. Probably one of the biggest teams around when I was younger. Nottingham Forest, one of the biggest teams. Never ever got back there. Do you want to end up like that, or do you want to be this team that goes up and down and round? Because until you get the big billionaire walks through the door, which brings its own troubles. Look at Wigan now. Wigan probably in the biggest mess ever. Yeah, from the back of a bad situation. So I think people got to think. I just don't know why people just don't go up the Premier League, enjoy the ride that we had last season, enjoy this season for what it is, and then potentially go right. We've got a philosophy. The club's doing one in the background. We're bringing young kids through. This is how we're going to do it, and we're going to be as successful as we can for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. If we get to the point where we're up there in the next couple of years and the plan's worked and the gauge and we've built again, then you can start asking questions like, well, are we going to ever stay here? Or are we going to keep doing it? Because otherwise that's the way around.
Holty, you speak absolute sense, but I think the reason why the fans are frustrated is that is this your third Stella? Hello, here we go. This is all very, very much documented. Third Stella for Grant Holt, ladies and gents. I think the reason why we're so frustrated, and you've said it when you walked in the door tonight, that team should have been doing much better. So I know where you're coming from, and I'm with you, and I like the perspective shout. And I like the fact that going down, like we've said it, Jack, numerous times, haven't we? If Aston Villa go down, if West Ham go down, bloody hell, they are in some serious trouble. But I guess the thing is, Chris, I do agree. I do accept that. Why are we accepting performances like we have done? Like I know where Holty's going with the bigger picture stuff, but it's just hard because you see players like Max, Todd.
I just think I think it all comes down because everyone wants to see you go down with a fight.
Yeah,
that's what it is, and I think at the moment they feel that the players aren't trying to go down with a fight.
Yeah,
I don't think that's right. I think they go on the pitch to win the football game. I just think at the moment they can't get the balance between here, there, and everywhere to decide on how they're going to do that. And the prime example is when your confidence is low and you want win games, you make bad decisions. Like I said, you're 3-0 up, and as soon as they went 1-0 up after 3.5 minutes. I said, didn't I? This is where you need to be clever. This is where you need to think. Straight, first thing they've done, they give a throw away. They get the ball back, and then they give the ball away, and you've seen the back of your net. That's where they've gone wrong.
Yeah,
and there's nothing Daniel Farke can do. There's nothing the staff in the background can do. That's a decision on a football pitch that was made, and it's a bad decision.
No,
and that's what I'm talking about. That's where you need to be a constant. And they're the things that need nipped in the bud. And they should have been nipped in the bud 10, 15 games ago.
And see, but this is the thing, right? Great point, Holty. But what we're seeing here of this Norwich City side at the stage we're in is a culmination of actually, I think, quite a lot of problems. Quite a lot of problems. I mean, you know, people are of course blaming the recruitment. People are of course blaming the fact that the players are underperforming, that they've not got the fight, that we've not got the quality. The young players are inexperienced. The top players aren't performing. The in-game tactics are being criticised. Now, I remember when this geezer was playing, and we might have a moan and groan about one area of the pitch, but it certainly wasn't the whole team. And I think it's a really sad state of affairs. By the way, ladies and gents, Lily's there we go. Yeah, I think normally when you look at a football team, there's normally one or two things to moan about. But this season, you know, even in a relegation side, you don't expect to see. Holty's right. You know, when you go and score a goal in the Premier League, just shut up shop for a minute. Keep organised, switch on, do the basics. Don't give the ball away. Frustrate the opposition. Draw a foul. And that's exactly what he did. It's as simple as that. And that's why he's had the respect that he's had over the years. Definitely. Justin says you're talking sense. Justin, I tell you what, if you think he's talking sense now, wait until he's had his fourth stellar. Speaking of which,
this is an interesting one. Let's get Holty's thoughts on this. Canary Long says, whenever people speak about billionaire owners, they always speak of the bad examples, but never the Wolves or the Leicesters of the world.
What do you want to say?
Well, is it, you know, the argument at the moment is if we do find new owners, be careful what you wish for, that kind of thing. And if we are to get new owners, it could go terribly wrong and we could end up, you know, the next Pompey or someone. But it could go the other way and we could be Leicester, we could be Wolves.
Of course it could, but it's like anything, you always speak of good and bad examples. I don't think the current regime would leave without knowing the ins and outs and where they're going to leave them. I think the current crop of owners and board members are very good and have been very good for the football club. People might argue that, but if you look at what they've done and what money they've put in off their own back, I think it's been phenomenal what they've done. And I don't think they're always bad. I think people come in for the right reasons, but I think people come to football very much as well for the wrong reasons. Do you know what I mean? You're talking about wealth of billionaires. You look at Abramovich and supreme wealth. Do you know what I mean? You're looking at the terms of Man City. He's got to be so careful. He's just giving
for the people watching, the second half's kicked off and it's Tete with the foul again. That's his second foul on a booking.
I don't think it's a foul though. He just fell over. I think it's a bit hard done by there, but he's got to be so careful. But another free kick.
Yeah.
That's just an example there of you've let him come inside, show him down the line. It's real. I feel like I'm saying real basic stuff, but it's a real basic thing you get told the kid.
Warriors as well, Holty. You're saying it over and over again, aren't you? It happens multiple times a game.
But that's what you said. You go down knowing that Watford's biggest strength is set pieces, and it's like, and you're going there. You must know that that's what it is. It's like an echo with that song when he gets away. And that's the biggest trouble. But it's just basic. Show him down the line. Don't show him inside. Stop the cross. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's basic stuff. It's not that kind of stuff.
Andrew Polton says, so much sense, Holty. Listen, very good, Chris and Jack. Yeah, it's nice having someone on here that knows about football because usually it's just me and Chris waffling on.
No, but also, Jack, the reason why we wanted to get Holty on is to actually have a qualified opinion of what's going on, because it's easy as supporters to say what we want to say. But Grant's saying what he's saying, and actually a lot of the stuff that has been said tonight is actually in agreement with a lot of the fans with regards to the way that we played, with regards to the way that we've thrown games away. So, no, it's good. I hope everyone's enjoying it. How many people have we got in the room, Jack?
Got nearly 700 across YouTube and Facebook. If you are joining us on YouTube, then please do hit subscribe because we're doing these after every single Norwich game this season. And when you hit subscribe, it's completely free. You'll be notified when we do go live. Holty, what did you make after the after the Brighton game? You know, a few players laying on the pitch after. Did they pretty much realise that it's game over?
I think by doing that, it basically signalled a little bit like that was it. By Mario.
Why did you giggle? Have you talked about that off camera?
Yeah.
It was his first thing he asked me when I walked in. He was saying, I'll say it, he was basically saying that, do you think Toddy's hamstring's a bit of a foil? But I don't think it is, because he's not that way inclined, because I know he'd want to play the ball whenever he can. But it's quite convenient.
Yeah.
That you said. But to me, I don't think there's...
Are we just looking into it a bit deep?
I think so. I think it was a frustration. I think sometimes you have a realization that could be that, but you've still got games left. I know we know it's a ridiculously after that game. I think everyone's open and honest that was kind of, we knew it was it, because to get out of it, like we said, it'd have to be unbelievable. But just get off the pitch for me.
Yeah.
Just off.
We spoke about this, Jack. I said to Grant when he walked in, "What are you doing there?" Because, you know, for me, if everything was all fine and dandy, if the players were a group of players that genuinely believed that they could survive, why aren't the leaders grabbing them by the cuff of the neck and dragging them in the change room and saying, "What the hell are you doing, man? We're still in this."
Yeah, I kind of see it from both points of view. I think if I'm Todd, I'm almost just disappointed that the season's fizzled out in the way it has, because I think for him, you know, scoring against Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, he must be looking at this absolutely on cloud nine. And then suddenly 3 months down the line, you're 7 points adrift on course for a record low points total in the Premier League in front of no fans. So it's kind of like, to me, yeah, I'm going to be a bit pissed off as well.
Yeah, I think you can be pissed off, but you like...
Is it a statement though, Grant?
No, I don't think.
Are they doing that to get the fans' attention, to say this isn't what we want?
He's not like that. Do you know what I mean? He's very much. I know the reason he's on that pitch because he's absolutely pissed off and he's annoyed that the way, like Jack just said, that's his frustration, because that's the way he's like.
Yeah,
it's probably harder for him because being from Norwich and coming all the way through and being the way he's done, it still hurts the same. But as I said, when you're a fan like he is, it kills you even more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I said my worst moments ever when I've been seeing Carlisle relegate and miss out on playoffs and stuff, because I'm a Carlisle fan. That's take any football thing out of the equation. To see them days being at Wembley when I was 15 and Carlisle getting beaten over windscreens and stuff like that. Tough days, stuff. It's probably harder for him. But I just think, get off the pitch, sulk about it when you get in the dressing room. You can't let people see you. And you can't let people see it and take pictures and stuff.
But see, this is it, Grant. That surely they would have just gone to the change room if they didn't want to make a statement to the fans. Why would they sit on the pitch?
Yeah, but I see it.
I'm going to defend them a little bit. I think.
No, I'm defending them, mate.
No, what I'm saying is.
Oh, this is lovely from Brendia. Hang on a moment. Stiepermann out to Jamal. Lovely cross.
Go on! Oh,
yes. Oh,
it could be handball, that, you know.
You reckon?
I think that's
Norwich building here. 2 great chances, and we've still got it. It's Buendia. Buendia lining one up. Oh,
this will get looked at just in case to see if he's
See, for me there, he's got so much time to bury that. Anyway, what are you saying, Holty?
So what I was saying was,
Todd,
what I was trying to say with the Toddy factor, I think it's probably a different scenario, because you kind of forget where you are because these fans sat there.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? When you play a pre-season game, I told you the look of this, didn't I?
Oh, his hands down.
It's down.
Okay.
The way I looked at it is if I'm Toddy, you know, a brilliant season, still young, I'm probably going to do the same thing as.
I don't think, Jack. I honestly don't think.
Tete off. Tete's come off.
Yeah, for Kenny McLean.
Holty, if I was, you know, if I'm Toddy, I'm looking for a more senior player to give me a bit of guidance there and just say, "Come on, mate, I know you're feeling rough here, but."
Do you know what it is? I don't think it is that, though. I think it's just the sheer fact that no one's in the stadium.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a forgetfulness in terms of you played the game, you're disappointed, you're pissed off, you're like, oh God, no one's there. It's not like you're going to go and clap them or walk around and walk off. No one's there. So in terms of sitting down, you're going to go in and do your bit afterwards, and obviously the manager's probably speaking or whatever, which normally does, and you disappoint you took your stuff on, and then you go in. We're talking about something where I think if it happens when the crowd's absolutely full, you'd be like, get in.
Yeah, 100%.
It's too late now to sulk because we've been beat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Hang on.
See, that's that.
Big chance, Watford. Oh no, clear your lines, Welbeck. Oh, it's in.
Oh my God, what a finish.
Fucking hell.
What a finish, by the way.
Overhead kick, Danny Welbeck.
Kenny McLean.
Isn't it? When was the last time Welbeck overhead kick?
Kenny's first touch.
We'll just take a moment to applaud the finish, though. You've got to give him a little bit of. You've got to give him a finish. That's
such a striker's.
Yeah, you've got to give him a clap. It's just over a kick in the stanchion. This is from our cross, though. Look.
Yeah.
But what is Kenny doing here, by the way?
He's just got.
Come off it, man! I'm not accepting that. That's so weak. What a finish!
Yeah, but where's the clearance?
No, mate. You've got
to.
It's a hell of a clear. It's a hell of a finish.
Hang on a minute. Where's Max going? You've left your man. Unbelievable finish, by the way. Oh, Shanky.
What?
Some of his shin as well.
Chris, if we're blaming Kenny here, mate, Max is out of position, lost his man, miskicks the clearance.
Oh, there's so many people to blame for that, mate. It's not Max's fault there, is it?
Who gave the ball to Welbeck?
Yeah, all right.
He's got to mark his man. He's got sucked into the ball.
I tell you what,
it's a ridiculous finish. Like, he nearly gets a clearance.
Yeah, it's very good.
That's what I said. This is what I'm saying, though. You're attacking. That's what the Premier League does to you. You're attacking 2-1 down.
I agree with that.
That's the difference.
But also, to back your point earlier, Holty, you're saying they're not sticking to the basics. And again, why are you getting bullied off the ball when you're man to man, shoulder to shoulder? Why are you getting bullied off the ball?
Well, you can get knocked off the ball.
Yeah, but come on, Holt. He's knocked off the ball. He's just on the pitch. What was he doing getting knocked off the ball?
He's misjudged the flight of the ball. That's what he's misjudged.
But the thing here, gents, we'll see now. Can we finally try and get a point from a losing position? Because we haven't done that all season.
Well, that's it now. Does it suck everything out of the... Oh.
Because on the balance of play, we're very much in this. We should have probably taken the lead. It's a poor cross from Hernandez. Gives it away. I mean, that's the player that is so frustrating. That's a championship.
That's a brilliant tackle there. Superb from Ben there.
Can I deliver this one? Easy pass. Onel again. Down the left.
I think, by the way, I can't... Grant is so right, Jack.
Go on. And again. Go on, Pookie. He's in.
Yes. Oh. See, it's just the talent, isn't it? It's the talent. It's just, Holt's right. You switch off for an ounce of a second. You make one mistake and you get punished for it. That's the Premier League. By the way,
he's taken that.
I can't defend him there. That is a sign of low confidence for sure. 100%. Are you hitting that?
Everyone who subscribed through the stream. We're 2-1 down. We were 1-0 up, and that's fallen.
Great ball.
Do
not lose this. Do not lose.
Fuck
me. We got lucky.
We're lucky there. I agree with the Watford player. There's no way that's a foul.
We got lucky there.
He's got to be booked for that, by the way. He's got to be booked for that. Not that.
There's a sub coming on here. Let's see who this sub is.
These next 5 minutes are crucial, aren't they, Holty? Because there's a chance here that this game runs away from us here.
Yeah, you go one way or the other, don't you? That's the difference. Who's that Tom Cleverley coming on for?
Yeah.
Will Hughes.
We've just had an influx of viewers. I'm not sure if it's, jubilant Watford fans or Norwich fans looking for therapy. Either way, please do comment below.
It's interesting that, don't it? Look what they've just done. So they've gone 2-1 up.
Yeah, and what do they do?
Against run of play. They've probably brought in one of the most experienced Premier League players in terms of in their squad to come on and give Will Hughes a break.
Yeah, of course you do. Proactive management, Holty. This is one of the things.
Surely.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean, what, Jack? No. Right, Jack. Seriously, what do you mean, what? What the hell is Tim Close doing there? There was no need for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got no reason.
Wait, I thought you were sober these days.
No, I'm sober. I've been solely on.
You've been playing with Wes today, so he's
happy.
He's
of course he is. Of course he is.
Take your shirt with you and get him to sign it and all that, and not no. What? No. All right. Did he sign your golf ball for you? Did you ask him?
No, I didn't.
Was he still cheating and playing off 16 when he's probably off about 10?
He was cheating playing off 16.
Yeah.
I took it as 16, probably a fair handicap for Wesley, but he stepped up on the first with a 4-iron in his hand and ripped one down the middle.
He loves his 4-iron.
I love a. Does he?
Yeah,
oh,
he's
4-iron's
good.
my favourite club.
No, he was ripping it
Come on,
today.
bring it forwards. Go on. See there, I just think we're too slow.
Oh,
Holty.
chance! Oh!
He's a great ball. He's been lively now. It's been lively.
That's a compliment coming from you.
No, he has. But his pace helps.
But that's it. We've missed it.
Oh, that's lovely from there. Go on, play Pookie. Go on, Pooks.
Yes.
Great tackle.
Pookie looks low confident, doesn't he? See what? Oh.
Come on. Go on, Jamal.
Go on, Jam.
Oh, that's a touch.
Why is he not giving that there?
Here we go. Look, going to get coin possession.
No,
again.
well played there, Emmy, by the way. Well played, Emmy, by the way. We've criticised him, but he deserves some praise there.
I think Emmy's been good today.
Yeah, he's been brilliant, mate.
Crap.
Regardless of the goal, he's had a very, very good game.
Great tackle.
Very good game. And this is it. So what we're going to witness here, Jack, in the next 10 minutes is either that Norwich City performance that we've been wishing for all season, or what we're going to see is Nigel Pearson game management.
Right, just stop. Watch where this throw goes.
What do you mean?
Well, look where it's gone.
Oh, forwards.
Picked it up. They've just scored. No messing about.
Yeah, they're just
Ball
keeping
down the
ball.
line, not going backwards, throwing down the line, flicking on Troy, get us on the pitch.
Yeah. I think this is time to get Adam Ider on now. Pookie's looking a bit sluggish. That's not a criticism. Get Ider on there. Let's give him a good half an hour at this, because there's no point giving him 10 minutes at the end.
And Jack, this is what, and I know that you have brought this up in the last show, and we'll say it again. This is what I've always criticised Daniel Farke of since the beginning of his tenure. We have not been proactive enough in games. We've not gone after games. And Holty, let's get your opinion on this.
Through here,
as a substitution, Holty, does it? And I know you weren't a sub that often, but until the Wolf came. That was dangerous, by the way. He's had a few stellars. I might be in trouble here.
What, you no.
Someone did actually put earlier, after all these beers, give it 70 minutes and these two won't be friends anymore. And there's 8 minutes until the 70. And we're well on the way.
You probably have these 3 stellars and probably go on that pitch at 70 minutes, to be honest.
My point is, Holty, does it take substitutes time to get up to speed with games? Because I've always said about Daniel Farke, look, 62 minutes on the clock. We're losing 2-1. We're away from home. We've run out of ideas. As a substitute, should you?
To me,
is it better to come on earlier?
No. My argument with substitution is difficult. If you're winning and you've got a formation that's working, you ain't changing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go on attack, so I've just told you what I think about Amida. If he comes on, he's probably different to Timu because he can run in behind a little bit more than Timu does. Timu can probably links the play. I'd say Timu links the play better. If you're going to bring out Amida on and take Timu Pukki off now, the formation is working but isn't really working that well. You're just putting someone on to do this formation. So if Adam comes on, he ain't going to get any more chance than what Timu's done.
I agree.
In the last 60 minutes. So if you're going to bring him on, you need to change the philosophy of it in terms of going a little bit longer, going a bit more direct, get a bit closer around him, playing balls in behind a little bit more. It's not just a case of putting a player on for the play. You need to change something within that dynamic.
Do you think the physicality plays an important factor in this as well, Holty? Because I look at our team compared to Watford, and I see 2 absolute brick shithouses at the back.
Yeah, we just look at Troy there. The ball's gone long. He's lost the ball, but he's given a foul away.
Yeah,
he hasn't been booked. Foul away just to stop the
game. Yeah,
just to stop the play.
No, I completely agree.
And that's
same there. Look, he's just challenged for ball. He's not won it, but the ball's stopped exactly round about that area. Look,
that just comes with time and experience, though, doesn't it, Holty? That's not something you necessarily teach, is it?
No, you can't teach it, but the play to his strength as well. Do you know what I mean? Watford a big physical strong stride. The way Nigel Pearson set them up, and that's what he was like when he was at Hull. And that's the way. See, there you go. It's just good game manager. That's a free kick. Do you know what I mean? It's
Simple
just like
stuff. Yeah.
just simple stuff. But
Over and over again.
then we flip that and say, what have I just said for the last 25 minutes? What do we not want? Free
I
kicks.
think Jam's gone from there, by the way. I think Jam's shown his inexperience there.
But we don't want free kicks.
And what was the need for Jam to do that?
That's what I'm saying. That's the point. You don't want free kicks. You don't want corners. That's one thing you don't want against Watford, because that's how the score goes. You now got, go on Dawson, have a walk up, have a little run up here, get higher, get Boo in there, get everyone in there, and away you go.
The frustrating thing is I never really noticed them kind of niggly fouls, but now Holtzy's been, banging on about it all game. You've realised that's happened all season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I think it was a free kick off Dawson, but he's not going in it now.
Okay, well, at least we defend that one.
Look, and that will go on the diagonal watch.
Oh, mate.
There's no thought process of like keeping it again. It's going in the box. This will go in again as well. Touch, cross.
Yeah.
And you can call it what you want. You can call it ugly. You can call it whatever.
Well played there, by the way. Well played there.
Do you see what I mean? You can call it whatever you want, but we know it's coming. So that one foul has caused you 3 different sets of problems.
Yeah. I think, Holty, do you think that we miss Grant Hanley and Christoph Zimmerman, that physical presence? Because I feel like in the past few games, I've got a lot of time for Ben and Tim, of course, but I feel like we've missed that physicality at the back.
But it's not having a partnership that's been set all season. It's been
true, mate. Yeah,
pretty much, hasn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
I think I don't know, because Tim and Ben are just as physical as the two of them. Do you know what I mean?
No.
What do you mean? What, Tim's as big as strong as Zimmerman is?
No way. Crystal Zimmerman's pressing 190 in the gym, mate.
What does that mean? What does that mean? I can do 96. What is that? I can't lift.
It means Christoph Zimmerman's stronger than you.
What? So you think you knocked me off the ball then?
You'd knock Christoph Zimmerman off.
Do you think he'd knock me off the ball?
I reckon he'd give you a good. No, actually, I don't know.
You actually think he'd knock me off the ball 107?
I think. What is your right? Okay, if you're going to knock someone off the ball,
I don't know what I mean.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
It's a different technique. Just because you lift 170 bench press doesn't mean you're strong on the pitch.
Holty, I just think we need players that can do the physical, dirty work, and we've not got anyone. McLean there,
but you're saying about physical. You're saying about physical. How many fouls did Christoph Zimmerman give away last year? How many did he really go and dominate when he give fouls away?
Okay, I think it's a bit harsh on Christoph Zimmerman.
No, I'm not saying he's. I'm not saying he's not a good defender, but what I'm saying is I don't think he's any more physical than what Tim Closer or Grant Hanley is.
Mate, you're more qualified than me. I respect your opinion entirely.
I'm amazed that you think because he can bench press 170, that means he's really strong on a football pitch. I don't get it.
Jay Watt says Tete coming off for Kenny has changed the game. I think the frustration for me is Tete was having a fantastic game. It's being made because he was on a booking, he was giving away fouls. It's just if he hadn't have picked that yellow card up, we might be in a slightly better position here.
Here's Mr. Webber. Looks like he's got a ponytail with that shadow.
Stuart, get your mask on.
Looks like he's got a ponytail though.
Does he?
Yeah, look at the way the seat goes in the back of his head.
Oh yeah. He must be furious. He must be so bitterly disappointed at the way that this team has performed time after time.
Here we go, Chris. Here's your favourite drinks break. At least.
Yeah, look at this though. Right, so look at this. Look at who's doing the talking.
Tim Krul a right pop at Kenny there.
He tells off Kenny McLean, by the way. Even though Kenny McLean's actually doing some talking. There you go.
Tim Krul was getting
going back to your point there when they were saying about the McLean and Teddy thing. The two completely different. Do you know my thing with Kenny McLean? I want to see Kenny play higher. I want to see him more advanced. When I seen him at Aberdeen and played against him, Kenny McLean is a lot better player than people give him credit for in terms of when he gets forward, when he gets involved in the game, the amount of goals he's just scored getting in the box for Aberdeen. I just like to see him play higher. I'd like to see him play as a 1 and a 2. Two in front of it, like 2 in front of a sitter, maybe Alex and whatever. I'd like to see him a little bit more advanced.
I'm so pleased you think that, Holty, because people have started to give Kenny a lot of stick. And to be fair, I have there. But, I mean, come on. He was too weak there. I don't buy this shoulder barging thing.
Well, he obviously benches 170.
He must bench 180, Holty, by the looks of that. But so I'm pleased that you think that Kenny should be playing more forwards. But surely, he doesn't fit in further forwards, does he?
Well, not in that current situation, in that terms of where they are, in terms of playing a 2 and a 1.
But I think we'll see him a lot next season.
He ain't a 10. He's a 7.
We'll see him a lot next season, though, won't we? In the Championship.
Well, he's a 7, isn't he? So he plays, he plays more like an 8, like an off 8, off 10, than actually a number 10. So you'd rather see him be high like that, in front of a 1. So either side, like where we used to play a diamond, we play on the left hand side of that diamond. I just think he needs to be higher. I don't think Norwich
education tonight.
I don't think the Norwich fans have seen the best of Kenny, because I still don't think he's playing in the position where
I agree with that. Yeah,
Matthew Johnson says, "Thank you, Holty. Kenny is better further on. The fact we've had him centre midfield for so long over Vrancic is laughable."
But I don't get what he means by that, laughable, because Mario can only play as a sitter. He ain't dynamic enough to play any higher. So what's he saying? I don't get what's saying.
Well, I think Matt's argument there was he, as you, would prefer to see Kenny higher up the pitch, which then opens up a space for Vrancic to at least be starting football matches.
But I just don't know the hardest thing is if you change the philosophy and you go into a 1 and a 2. I don't see Mario being the sitter.
No, I see
it more being a Tom Trybo kind of, or Alex Tete. That's what I see.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. I don't see him playing that sitting role, because I don't think he's dynamic. Great ball. That's what he's good at.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what he does well. He moves the ball. He moves the ball well, and that's what he's very good at. He can pick a pass.
The frustration with that attack there, he's got 6 men ahead of him, and none of them are really moving for him. It just looks a bit static.
Because they all try and play into feet and move little triangles. That's the way we play. So the hardest thing is you can't just instantly change something. So if you're going to play that way, that's the way they've done it for years. That's why they're going to continue to play that way and open things up. But the good thing is, since the goal, they've actually dominated the game.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually.
But that's what I said. The trouble you've got is that any team in the Premier League predominantly can defend from ahead.
Going back to the Danny Welbeck goal, I don't think I gave enough credit. I watched it back. It was a stunning strike, wasn't it?
Well, Holty says it was off his shin, so it was probably just lucky.
Kind of half-shinned it a little bit, but it's a hell of a finish.
I'd take an overhead kick shin goal from Pookie right now.
Holty, one of the things that I want to ask you, right, sitting here watching this now, do you still have the ick for football? Like, do you feel like you want to get out here and do what you do best? Or
you'd still rather play than watch it.
But are you frustrated? You must be more frustrated than the fans, because actually you know how to make a difference in games like this. So do you find it difficult to watch football matches, particularly Norwich games?
Yeah. It's hard to watch. You're watching more because I coach now. So you're watching more as a coach. That's why it's hard. Because I can debrief this in about 50 minutes and debrief the whole game and tell you when and where. But it's easy because I'm sitting watching it. Yeah. When you're in it, it's a completely different thing. Yeah. Because, look, another free kick for no reason. Yeah. Look. For fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's very difficult. When you're in it and it's easy from the stands. I say the easiest game in the world is from the stands. The reason is because it's like anything. You get a bird's eye view because you can see. Yeah. You can see the right winger bombing in behind. But if you've got the ball, sometimes all of a sudden you're seeing 10 men in front of you. You can't see the fullback. I was like, why is he not playing it? Well, I can't see it. I've got 10 men in front of me and I don't want to risk it.
It's easy to say from the stands.
Do you know what I mean? It's easy to say.
Yeah, I get that.
So when you get in there, I'm always quite. I always think differently because I know what it's like when you're in the midst of it, and it is high energy. And when you go behind, you start overthinking things. You get a bit frustrated. You do different stuff. So I'm always a little bit cautious.
Like Vrancic cleared that with his arse.
Oh, what's he doing there? Stick to the basics. Punt it out.
There you go.
Anyway, my point is, you would have a good go here, wouldn't you? If you were coming off the bench here, you'd be quite up for this.
But I think the all-out's coming off. You've got a chance to score in the Premier League. That should be. There's nothing more than you need than that.
100%.
You've got your name on it. Oh yeah, I've scored in the Premier League. You say it for the rest of your life. Do you know what I mean? It's like
I like that.
You say the rest of your life, and if that's not the motivation, the first motivation should be I want to win the football match or get someone out of the game. Yeah. The second motivation is I want to score in the Premier League. Buendia.
See. Buendia there, that's sloppy, and that's the other side of Emmy's game. That's the side to Emmy's game that we know is also, we've seen too much this season. He can do the clever stuff well, but he's not keeping to simple stuff. What's going on there with Maxi, by the way?
He's just smashed him when the ball was out of play.
Has he? Okay, fair enough.
The other thing, Holty, we talk about motivations there. I'm sure that the majority of these players in their contracts have got like pay decreases coming in when we go down. Let's not kid ourselves. We're all motivated by money to some extent. Here comes Adam Arden. Surely they've got in the back of their heads knowing my pay's going down drastically here. I need to do something about it.
But it's a tough situation when you can't.
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't? They're the ones on the pitch.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You just got to get. That doesn't enter your head. You just get on with wanting to win football matches. The money's irrelevant. That's going to happen regardless if you go down when you sign a contract. No football ever goes on the pitch thinking about money. I don't believe it.
What I'm saying is it's another motivation to at least, we are in a desperate position now, and you would have just hoped that this motivation might have come a bit sooner.
Yeah, but you don't think. Yeah, I get it's not the motivation, not the money. The motivation is pride. But I said the same thing. It doesn't affect the way you are. You still play exactly the same way. You should always go in there to want to win that match. If you're relegated, you should want to go in there and win the match. You might not because you're probably not good enough because you've been relegated. But you should still want to go on and win it.
Yeah,
I said to you, it doesn't you're playing games at in competitions where you're playing, you're out, but you still go to try and win the game because it's your professional. You might go 1-0 down and end up getting beat 6.
Yeah.
At least you'll always start with the intention of winning the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
One of the things I want to say, Jack, because I criticised him quite heavily in the last 2 games, I think Daniel Farke's got his in-game right here. I think bringing Adam Eder on at this point was the best decision.
Yeah. I can't really criticise Farke too much in terms of team selection and subs.
We're not trying to. No, but we're not trying to. So I want to make that clear that
we're still losing, Chris.
No, I know, but we've got to. I just want to be fair to Daniel Farke that his in-game here has been much better, which is good.
Adam Eder with a promising first couple of touches there.
Playing him off the left here.
Yeah.
Why?
So he's playing him off the left. He's playing Pookie up the middle. He's playing.
We've got a free kick here. This is promising.
Is it?
It's better than not having a free kick.
It'd be better with Ida being on there because it's got that little as well. But
I'd love to see Ida score right now.
Jack, he's going to score. Mark my words. Adam Eder's going to score to equalise. Not right now, but he will score.
No, he's scoring right now.
Oh, is he? I like that. It's about time I heard some confidence.
Are you still ahead of us, are you?
Okay, Emmy to whip one in. 77 minutes on the clock. We're 2-1 down at Vicarage Road. Ball delivered. Oh, that's a chance.
Oh.
No, it's Vrancic. Good chance.
It's a good chance. He should do better with that, really.
Yeah.
He's tried to. It's a tough header. It's not easy, but he's tried to put too much on it instead of just glancing it. But
completely unmarked.
Oh,
yeah, he's got to hit the target with it at least.
You think?
I think so. I think you've got to do something with it. He knows that's why he's like that. To be honest.
Yeah, that's tough. But that's a sign of, in my opinion, someone that's not played enough football this season. That's exactly what happens when you don't play him enough. He should have played more football than he has this season.
What? So he misses the header?
Well, don't you think, Holty? Don't you think with a bit more game time he would have had the confidence to actually have pulled that across the box there at least?
No.
Oh, all right.
Just a header.
Well, I'm happy to be wrong. Mate, I'm happy to be wrong. That's why you're here.
No, I just mean in terms of see, that's another prime example there. I know I keep harping on about it.
No, good. Keep going.
Tom Cleverley's been done by a little trick.
Yeah.
So he gets done by an L. He ends up turning away from the look. He's now going to go forward. He's thinking, I'll just take the foul.
Yeah.
Stopped him running 25 yards with the football.
Yeah, agreed.
And now look at the formation that they are now. Look, all in, everyone behind the ball. So to give them the opportunity to drop every single person in the box.
They're organised, aren't they?
Yeah, they changed formation. So Buendia's playing more in the middle, and Adam Eder's playing off the left. Adam Eder, sorry, as he called him.
Yeah, we need to get. Timmy Crew.
At least Mario's hair is still gloriously groomed.
Well, do you think, Jack? I think credit where credit's due. I don't think this is his best hair day, and the eyebrows aren't as on point as they always are. Actually,
well, the barber's been shut for 3 months, Chris. Give him some credit.
I mean, mate, no, it's a great point. Really,
look at this.
That's obviously not a hairdresser.
We've had a comment in from John Killett, the cheesy geezer of the cheese truckle himself, the finest cheese delivery service in the region, who says Chris should stick to gardening. John, I think I'd rather be gardening than watching this at the moment, I have to say.
It's been better today, though, Chris.
Yeah, but Jack, don't play that card because you gave me pelters for that. What does better mean? We're losing again.
I'd be interested to see what the comment that's just been on there, what he means by stick to garden, who was it who said it?
John, my father-in-law to be.
I'd be interested to see what John's thoughts are on the match at this moment in time. To be honest with you,
that says it all, doesn't it? Oh dear.
Right. Okay. Last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Holty, do we throw everything at this, or are we just trying to nick a equaliser on the break?
I think it'd be a little bit of what we seen the other day, where we nearly scored late on.
Do you think?
Okay.
We had him ahead of it, I think. I don't think we'll be cautioned to win yet. Maybe, I think I'll give it another 5 minutes. I wouldn't, he might even, to be fair, it's a tough one. It's who you're going to bring off, because I think Anel's had a decent game. He's probably been quiet in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, agreed.
Emmy's taken up good positions. They've just brought Adam on, so it's like, who do you change really? What you're gonna do? Are you gonna take Mario off? How are you gonna really change it? So it's interesting to see what they do. Really,
it's a great kick from Krul, by the way.
Yeah, brilliant. By the way, Adam there collects the ball, tries to bring it forwards,
makes his mark.
I think we've seen in since the restart, you know. The majority of the goals that we've conceded seem to have come on the break. The reason we looked so good last season is because we got our wing back so high up the pitch, which allowed us to overload going forwards. It just feels like this season we've done exactly the same, but we're getting caught in behind quite often, aren't we?
Yeah, because that's the trouble you've got is when everyone in the Premier League is fast and explosive. There isn't anyone who's not, really. There's the ones who you'll think, he's not that quick. Before you know it, he's in your box. Yeah. You've got that keep going.
Speaking of that,
Josh
Martin, what have you seen of him?
He's all right. He's got
a decent play.
Good potential.
Yeah, off the wing, good feet, good movement.
We're going to have 3 strikers on the pitch here.
I think they'll take.
I'll tell you what I'm buzzing to see. Switzerland's best DJ coming on now. Absolutely extravagant footballer.
Team off. Anel coming off.
Anel?
Yeah, that surprised me.
Well, big credit for if Barker rates Martin to a par on Hernandez, then.
Sure about
Josh
that.
is probably a little bit different in terms of he's very tricky, dynamic, gets wide. He'll stay wide and kind of join in.
Great moment for the young lad, though.
Yeah, great for him, and he's worked hard for it. He worked hard behind the scenes this season, so it'll be good for him. I'm surprised he took Anel off, though. I thought Anel was
What's he done? Problems. What's he done behind the scenes, Holty?
What do you mean, in work-wise?
Yeah,
I think I think start of the season he was probably on the fringes of being involved with the 23s in terms of he wasn't really doing. I don't think he was fulfilling his potential.
Right. Okay.
I think in terms of as the season's gone on, I think 23-wise, training-wise, application, he's got better and better.
Brilliant. Good.
And I think that's why he's gone into the first team. Good
to hear, because we hear a lot of these things, Holty, but it's good to get your opinion on what's actually going on behind the scenes for sure.
Okay, this is a really big moment for Dermich because he's got a chance here to find an equaliser.
We just throw the kitchen sink at this here for me. I would rather try and go for it. And
to me personally, I'd have kept the nail on the pitch.
100%.
I wouldn't have put Dermich on.
Oh, hello.
I'd have put
Jack.
See you, Jack.
Jack's off, so it's me and you, Holty.
I'd have probably left an L on. I'd probably stuck Josh Martin on.
Yeah.
And put Adam Ida through the middle. To be honest, that's just me personally.
No, I agree.
I just think because Adele's had a decent game so far.
Yeah, and I think. Do you think that?
Hi, Jack. You all right? Where you been, pal?
Jack. Yeah, nice, Jack. Cheers, mate.
I think the stream went there.
Yeah, no, I think you went there. You obviously had enough. Jack, if you're Josip here and you bang one in, are you going for the old DJ solo?
Well, I think if he bangs one in, he's finally out his wage, isn't he?
I'm going to play the card here. You just said about Vrancic there not getting his header on target. Are you allowing Dermot because he's not had any chances? Because you're letting Pookie off with. You're saying he's not getting.
Oh! Adam Ida. That's his chance. That's his chance. The ball's been cut across from the left-hand side. Who is it? It's Emi Buendia. Goes into Jamal. It is a sumptuous cross. It's flicked on by Dermot. And there's Ida, and that's the chance.
Is it just too far in front of him?
Oh, it's a sitter.
Yeah, no, it's not a sitter. I think it's just a little bit too far in front of him.
Credit where credit's due.
It's just a little bit far in front of him.
Tough to take those, isn't it?
Yeah.
Credit where credit's due to Switzerland's best DJ. It's a brilliant,
so what
header.
I'm saying to you is you're nailing him for not doing anything, but you're letting Pookie off because we're saying no one's creating anything for him. So is anyone creating anything for him when he comes on the pitch?
What, Josip or Adam?
Josip.
Both. No, then we're not creating enough chances.
You're saying you're slating him.
Who?
Saying he ain't good enough.
What, Josip?
Yeah.
Well, he's not.
Well, but
that's based off his chances that he's had.
What chances? What chances in terms of games? Or chances in terms of chances of finishing wise?
Finishing wise in the last few games. So like passing it. I mean, actually, you know what? Do you know what I'm saying it of? Assisting Arsenal. Literally giving them an assist as a centre forward.
There you go. All right.
Oh, did you there, didn't I?
Well,
you actually know that.
That's your opinion.
Do you not think that, Holty? Well, can you understand as a fan why I'm angry at Josip Dermot right now?
Well,
or are you letting him off because you've got the Strikers Alliance?
I'm letting him off.
Tell you what, the beer has fallen.
That was such a chance, though, wasn't it? It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a big chance.
Feel sorry for Adam there, really, because that's a real. It's for the fans as well. Seeing one of your own, hit an equaliser. It doesn't change anything in the season, but it just gives you that bit of something.
I was actually, I actually seen him playing for Ireland under 16s in Edinburgh. That's how I went to the game.
Did you?
I went to watch the tournament up there. The English schools one where they all play each other, and Victory Shield. England weren't in it actually, but I went to watch, and Adam was playing, and we actually signed him. We signed him that 3 days later.
Did we?
Yeah.
Apparently, he used to be a really good Gaelic footballer as well.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I can see why. You can bench 170 as well, which is good.
You're not going to live that down, Chris.
He's not going to live that down.
No, I'm fine with it. I just
think you're fine with it.
No.
Oh, go on, boys.
Smash it across.
Yeah. Oh, basic ball there. Holty, I just think we missed the physicality of Christoph Zimmerman and Grant Hanley. That's all I'm saying.
But you're saying that with Ben Goffrey's probably the most physical one out of all of them, and Tim's just as strong as them.
All right, fair enough. I respect your opinion.
Look at this, though. Clever. Oh, do you see that there?
Yeah.
The basic necessity of football. If it shows it again, watch Tom Clever look at Ben Goffrey coming. Might not show it.
He knows it.
He knows he's coming. Wait for him. I'll just follow. 87 minutes. Take a free kick. Slow the game down.
Yeah.
Get us up the pitch.
Game over.
Calm everything down. I'll stay down for a little bit. Get the trainer in. Have a little chat to me.
Yeah.
Let everyone shout around and have a little talk with each other. What's going on? Do you see what I mean? It's just basic. Some would call it cheating, and I'd call it.
I was going to say,
I'd call it gamesmanship.
Yeah.
You like to call it game management shit,
That's
Alvin, don't you?
That's it.
Just one more plug. There's nearly 1,000 of you watching across YouTube and Facebook. If you're new to the YouTube channel, please do hit subscribe. We're doing these during every single Norwich game. As we try to find an equaliser. We've got Grant Holt as our special guest today. I think most people wish he was on the pitch, but here we go. Last 2 minutes of this game. Norwich 2-1 down against Watford.
Adam Ida to get the equaliser. You heard it here first. Go on, MEC. That's the ball we need. Drive forwards now. What?
Who's that?
Ben. What's Ben doing up there, by the way?
We don't want to lose it.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that, by the way, Holty. Yes.
I've just been sent a text by someone, and they've said, "Here you go. Here's something for you."
There we go. Look
again.
It's just cleverness.
Game management.
You're going to use that from now on in the next few weeks.
Holty's game management.
Just a quick one for you boys. I've been sent a WhatsApp. Apparently, the record low Premier League away goals total is 8 in a season. That was by that Derby side that made like 10 points.
You get
10 points, 7 all season away from home.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not great, is it?
7 goals away from home.
Oh, God. It's not good, is it?
Isn't that brilliant, though? Do you see that Troy Deeney hand in the air, put it here, I want it here, right in the corner
Troy,
here.
don't you? You like
But
Troy, don't you?
it's just a leader, isn't it?
I think
It's just dictated.
You and Troy are like peas in the pod. You are.
Yeah, and I quite like him.
Yeah, I know you do.
But the difference is that's what a leader does.
Yeah, agreed.
He's just dictated a whole phase of play for 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? He's told his goalkeeper, this is where I want it. Ben Foster, who's an experienced boy, I want it up here. Yeah. This is where I want it in the corner, because if I flick it on, it gets a throw in. He then gets a throw in into his feet. He won't go anywhere. He pretend he's going anywhere. He'll drop back in a second and get it to feet. But he's dictated 2.5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
There you go, look.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you entirely. Job done.
Oh,
Job
4 additional minutes.
And this is your scenario now, look. Waved again. The first thing he's done is waved at his 2 centre-halves.
Yeah.
You ain't coming near me.
Corner kick.
Stay back there.
Yeah.
Stay back there.
It's also worth noting, lads, when we played Watford at Carrow Road earlier on the season, they beat us. They hadn't won a game up until that point. Nigel Pearson's come in and done a very good job, hasn't he?
Yeah, brilliant job. But that's what he does. He gets the best out of teams. And he sticks to a philosophy.
He's a motivator. He's a motivator. And I bet you he kicks the trolley over at half-time, by the way, if it's not going well.
I know where this is going.
Do you? In the corner. Game management. The old GHGM, I'm calling it from now on.
Oh, why is he trying to flick in there, by the way?
Oh, fuck's sake.
I agree, though. I think, maybe it's easily said and done on a soap.
We're talking about Watford in terms of game management. We're saying about Watford. But it isn't just Watford. We're talking about Troy Deeney being up there.
Well done, Josh.
The best do it. Man City do it. Liverpool do it. Taking the game, getting free kicks, dominating possession at the very end. Do you know what I mean? And that's the difference. And it's all started from, if we'd have held on for another 5, 10, 20 minutes after that first goal, it changes the whole complex of the game for me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're going to go on and win it, but just change the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
Well, you build an authority on the game, don't you?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's all.
Right. One of the things that I need to address, because I feel like it would be an injustice not to, particularly
through and goal here. Oh dear.
Oh wow, jeez.
Oh, careful.
One of the things that I really want to address, Jack, because there's been a lot of comments about this, and I really want to get Grant's take on it. Is a lot of physical. Grant, a lot of people have said now. I say a lot of people. There is now a pocket of Norwich fans that want Daniel Farke out. What do you think about that? I can't avoid that question because a lot of people have asked it in the comments.
I think it's the same thing as what we talked about before with the billionaire owner. I think you're going to be careful
what you wish for.
With what you wish for a little bit. Look, for what he achieved last season, when no one thought he was going to achieve that, shows you exactly where he's at last year.
Yeah,
a lot of fans aren't happy with what he's been saying in terms of different comments. Oh, what a tackle that is, by the way. Different comments in interviews and different stuff.
Yeah.
Which I get in certain aspects, but he's got a job. People ask him questions the same as you just asked me, and you're going to answer it.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't think. I think if he kept his philosophy, and like you said, if he had better players, supposedly as people say, and more money to spend, then you're going to get judged off that. His judgment won't come off the back of this year keeping this squad. His judgment will be coming back of next year.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if they review this, he could be.
Yeah. That's a high tackle by Buendia. Oh.
If they review this, he's off.
Yeah, I think you're right, Holty. He's got away with that one. Book him. 2 centimetres to the right there, and he's off, isn't he?
Lucky boy. And that's the same with Daniel. Daniel will be judged if they go down, and everyone goes, and we can't do what he done again, which was a ridiculous achievement. But if we can't do that, he'll be judged off next season for me. You can't judge him off this year.
Holty, I love that, and I agree with you completely. But if we continue to just lose football matches like we are, if we don't get a result from now to the end of the season, how can you expect the fans to get behind this culture, this Farke life, this philosophy next season? I'm not in the Farke out camp, by the way, but I want to be fair to the people that are commenting it.
We're going to go the same way then. Everyone was out to wasn't that many people singing Farke like after the first season.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's a lot of people going Farke out.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well.
At the end of the first season.
Yeah.
There we go. Game over.
Yeah. But as I said, there's a lot of people going for Farke the first term, and he carried on, done what he achieved. So it's the same philosophy. And Stuart Webber was right to back him, and it worked out perfect for him. It's the same.
Just seeing the pictures there, it looked like Pearson wanted to make out with Farke there.
I don't think he doesn't seem too best pleased, look.
Quite an intimate moment.
And he's not really the guy to really mince his words, to be fair.
Oh, really? I thought he was coming on to Daniel Farke. Do you think he was having a word with him?
I don't think he was happy.
Oh, really?
Something got said before. I don't think he was happy.
Oh, really? Okay.
But it's a positive point for that. At the end of the game, they're disappointed again. But you're gonna be. You've been beat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. But it's the simple stuff, Holty. You said it time after time. Jack,
if you don't have to work for goals, there's no point. If you're not going to have to, if you keep gifting easy goals, which both of them goals are easily done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Troy Dean having a word there with Adam Ardra and Max. What do you reckon he's saying, Holty, you know?
Yeah, I think he was, I don't know, I think they were on about the elbow when he caught him before, didn't he? Thought of the young lad. But look, he's, the only positive you can have out is we were better than we were the other day. Do you know what I mean? That's the only positive you can have out of it, but we've not got another point again. So, and that's the worry, isn't it? Another point, we go on.
I just feel like it's lackluster though, Holty. Like I know you'll defend them, but I just think looking at this again, it's just another.
They maybe just haven't got. You keep saying lackluster. They maybe just haven't got the tools to do it.
Yeah.
We've got £180 million worth of play. You're saying on that pitch. What do you mean we've not got the tools to do it?
That's what I'm saying to you. It's not. Sometimes it's not about the individual. It's about the team. It's a team collectively doing the thing.
Yeah,
and that's it. You can't always go for. Yes, you can have great individuals. Do you know what I mean? You could arguably go about the greatest of one of the greatest centre forwards ever, Lionel Messi. They haven't won anything with Argentina. Look at their squad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great point, mate. Really good point.
And that's it. You've got to be a little bit. This is what I was trying to say before. You got Danny Welbeck on there now talking about his overhead kick with a bit of shin in it. For this instance, if you're a player now, you could quite comfortably go and sit on the floor because you know Danny's going to talk. You know the pro mate. You know the manager's going to go up there and speak now. You know he's not in there, so you can literally go and sit on the pitch wherever you want because it doesn't matter because there's not a fan in the stand. I think the bit last week was a little bit forgetfulness, so that's why I'm a little bit like I'm not really fussed about him sitting on the pitch. But
you're not reading into that, Holty, no?
Nah, not at all, really.
I just think I think I'm in the other camp on that. I just think why, like in all of the other games, Southampton and Everton, they didn't do it.
But it's where the picture is, isn't it? What time was it taken? Was it straight after? 10 minutes, 5 minutes?
I don't know that.
It was a good 10 minutes after, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
I just think after watching this and getting Holt's thoughts, I do just think we lack a couple of players that have had that Premier League experience, 100+ games in the Premier League. It's only really Tim Krul in there who's played over 100 Premier League games. Maybe Alex Tete, but it's them little decisions. It's very fine margins.
When you sat on your thing and said our team was rubbish and they were better than us,
I didn't say that, but
we did. There was only one. There's only two players I think in our squad who played in the Premier League: Adam Jury and Doherty, probably. Maybe Darren Russell. Maybe.
Oh, Ginger Pele, what a player, by the way.
No,
I'm trying to find excuses, Holty. If it's not that, then I don't know what it is. We just lack quality. I
just don't think we've got the balance to. I think it's very difficult when you're not winning and you're down the bottom and you've got no confidence. No matter what, everyone will tell you when you're on a bad run. The confidence saps things. You do things differently. You do things. You need a little bit of luck. You need to do the basics properly.
Yeah,
and that's what they're not doing. They're not doing the basics, and I probably bored the life out of people saying games management. But you do the basic stuff is game management.
Yeah,
not giving away free kicks to teams that want free kicks. Not giving away corners to teams that want corners. If it's not on to play, you get rid of it because it's not whacking the ball away. Look at what we've done with Buendia, 72 yards down the line, slowed the game down. It's about doing the right stuff, and that hasn't happened. We can see again, we're 1-0 up after 3 minutes. We give a free kick away that we didn't have to give away. We had the ball in our hands, and we got the score off a corner, off a free kick. And it's like, there's the basics.
Experience there as well,
and then it's our corner. we end up having a cross and we concede.
Yeah.
That can't happen. And
Yeah.
that's the difference. It's hard enough trying to keep clean sheets without giving easy goals away, and that's what we're doing. And when I talk about defensively, it isn't just defensively in terms of fullbacks, it's defensively in terms of everyone. Midfield not being in the right position, fullbacks being too high.
Yeah.
If you've been tackled, get up and get back in. It's like having a big, you look at the Watford thing, take a foul, get your banks of 4, you ain't breaking us down. That's the difference.
You just make it sound so simple. That's the frustrating thing for me.
Well, it's simple sitting here though, isn't it?
Yeah, but but you've played the game, but so that's why it's frustrating me that you're saying that, because you're saying it's the simple stuff that we're failing at. And there's been a comment that I saw earlier on, Jack, which said, "Do we lack intelligence?" I mean, I think it's a relatively fair point, because how can we do all the fancy stuff, keeping the ball and bringing it forwards, but not do the simple stuff? I mean,
I think it is as well. Like, we have to manage our expectations, and we've got the lowest wage bill. We spent the least amount of money. We are in the table based on what we spent and the money we're spending on wages. So I guess if we're really stripping our expectations back, what did we really expect this season? Did we expect to stay up playing free-flowing football?
This is where it all falls down, because like I said before with the Sheffield United thing, if I get the team up now, you ain't swapping many, Jack. You ain't swapping many players for that Sheffield United squad.
Yeah.
You've got McBurney, you'll have Pookie, you've got Buendia, you've got centre halves, you've got Godfrey, you've got Egan, you've got Jamal Lewis, you've got Max Aarons on the right, you've got Norwood in midfield. You ain't swapping many. If you have the balance in which one do you want to swap, if you've got a pack of cards and said which one do you want to swap, without knowing where they are, you ain't swapping them.
But is it down to the manager in that case? They've got Chris Wilder, a man who's taken, multiple teams up, Northampton, Sheffield United. Is it down to Chris Wilder then? Is that the difference?
I think they just know they've gone with a wave to try and stay in the division. I think that's what they've done. Chris has played in a certain way, and it's worked for them. I always say the Premier League's difficult. It's always the first part of the season. There's no reason why since the lockdown, Sheffield United have been a lot less lackluster. They've been, if you look at it in terms of, because everyone's done the homework and everyone knows what they are now, and that's what happens in the Premier League. As soon as you get to Christmas in a normal season, everyone's got a blueprint of what you do. They know who you are, and I said,
and they know who we are,
and they knew, and I had no. I said with Timo Pukki, I still said Pukki. I said he'd probably break my 15 because I knew we'd get the goals before they even happened. But they've now worked out what we do.
Yeah,
they worked out how we play. They know when to press. They know when to sit off.
Yeah,
they know that if they drop off, we will play in front of them.
Yeah,
and it's up to the players on the football pitch to think better. Well, how can we adapt to this?
I said to Holty pre-match, Jack, and there's a comment here from Mystic Manson, of course, friend of the channel on Facebook, who says, I don't know how it can be a part of the plan to get relegated from the Prem. Now,
but the part of the plan wasn't even to get promoted to the Prem.
I agree with that, Holty, but as I said to you pre-match, I think that stat of going a goal down and then not being able to win a game says a lot about our mentality.
But Chris, we went ahead today.
But Jack, hang on a minute, just stay with me. I think a problem that we're seeing here is, yes, the fans' expectations were managed, whatever that means. But what does that say to the players? And it'll be interesting to get your take on this, Holt, in a short second. Is if you're hearing the top brass, if you're hearing your manager saying it's going to be a miracle, if you say all this, if you're a player listening to that, are you going to think, well, we'll just go to the Championship?
Holty, you said before, Holty, when you went up from League One,
yes,
Lambert said, right, we're going to get promoted from the Championship.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't have the best team in the Championship, you knew it was going to be tough, but he was like, we're getting promoted, and you did.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my point. The messaging.
But that's probably a little bit as well to do the fact that we had a team who've been with him the last year, we've been promoted, we're on a crest of a wave. It's the same this year. They've came up on a crest of a wave, and you want to go and take it all stormed. And then players don't go there to start the season and say, look, we're going to get promoted, so we're not going to win the league, so we'll probably stay up if we're lucky. You don't go in that mindset. They've gone in that division to go, I'm going to show them how good I am as a player and how well I want to do. It isn't about, like, they want to succeed, but you also want to go and show everyone how good you can be. You want to play in the best league in the world.
Yeah.
And you've got it. So you've got, I've said before, no one ever goes into these games thinking we're not going to win today or we want to win today. You start thinking a little bit like, oh God, we could get battered there. There's times where you turn up at Man City and think to yourself straight away, like, oh God, if we keep it under 3, we'll be lucky today.
Yeah.
But you don't go, but then when you walk over the white line, you do whatever you need to take to get the points. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
but it just doesn't feel like a valiant effort, Grant. It just doesn't feel like we've given it. And as we've said 1,000,001 times, you look at the quality of player that we have in that team. I just don't feel like we've used their potential, and that's the frustrating thing. I mean, a team that I just plucked out of thin air in my brain just then was when Blackpool came up to the Premier League. They had bugger all. They had no money at all. But when they played against the opposition, they imposed themselves. They caused trouble. They were unexpected. Teams didn't know what they were facing. Now, I'm not saying that there's a like and like familiarity there, but I'm just saying that I just think that we haven't imposed ourselves on teams enough. I don't think we've stuck to the values of this so-called philosophy.
I think we've stuck to the values of philosophy, but I don't think, like I said before, I don't think we've tweaked the philosophy to make it.
So we've been too stubborn. Is that what you're saying?
Win more games.
Do you think we've been too stubborn?
No, I don't think stubborn is the word. I think we've kept the philosophy, which is right. The philosophy is in the football club, and the way Daniel wants to do it, and the way we think it is correct. The way we want to move the ball around, the way we pass, the way we think. There's a tweak within the tweak that needs done, and we haven't done that. And the tweak is you can keep the ball as much as you want, but if you do it in bad areas, like we've seen today, you're going to lose goals. So they haven't got the balance between keeping it, which is great, and then, look, if it needs to go, it needs to go. That's the way it is. And then you get after it, and then you play high up the pitch. We stick to the philosophy too much to a point where, but that's not Daniel's problem. It's the player's problem, because the manager's telling you philosophy. It's in your hands. It's like anything. You make your choice at that moment when you got the ball. If you think that, oh, I can't go long because I'm not going to play, then you've got a problem. Yeah, if that makes sense. But you've got to do what's right for you. So if that ball lands, like there's no in the world Jamal Lewis should do a throw in back to Tim Klose on his left foot in the corner of the box. Yeah. No, you don't do it. You throw it down the line. You've just scored. You throw it down the line. You see where it goes, and then you get after it. And if it needs hooked on in the corner, that's what you do. But no, we keep it. We do that. The ball comes to the box. You 1-1. That's what they play for. That's what.
Comment here from Darren Huckabee. He says, "How much strength, character, and toughness have we got in this squad?"
I'll let you answer that, big man.
Well, to be fair, at the moment, we've got a centre half who's missing that can bench press 170. So that takes the strength down quite a lot. Not enough.
Yeah, but I know where Hux is coming from. I look at that team and I do see a lack of strength at the moment, a lack of physicality. And you had that in your team in the Premier League. I just don't
think there's enough people that impose themselves on the game. Yes. I think we've got a lot of players who impose themselves technically on the game. And the strength wise isn't going around kicking everyone. It's about bullying and being dominant and doing stuff, because no one will let you do that to you anyway. To me, it all boils down to the character is the biggest thing in that whole sentence. That's the character, and it's being leaders, characters, people on the pitch, people who are grabbing games by the scruff of the neck, people who are dominating. You don't really see them arguing. You don't really see them talking that bad to each other, like, you do this, you do that.
Do you want that? Do you want to see that?
Me and Russell Martin used to argue all the time on the pitch. All the time shouting back, and people saying different stuff to us, and me giving the ball away and I would shout back. But the one thing I always say is, whatever's said on that pitch, unless it's ridiculously personal, as soon as you walk off, that's it. But it's because because of the greater good. But
it's a respect thing, because Russ gave a shit about you. He wanted to see you do well.
Yeah, it's the respect thing. And once you get off, you both want to succeed.
Yeah.
So everyone wanted to succeed. There was many times we have arguments at dressing room, half-time, full-time, and you'd literally sit on the bus at the end, like on the way back, and laugh at each other, like, that was a bit harsh what you said, wasn't it? Like, and you might have lost, but it could be the icebreaker you need. You might have lost the game, But when he says that later on, you're still fuming, but it's gone.
So, Holty, what that we said at the back end of the last game, and you're kind of hinting at now, is I think that both on and off the pitch, there isn't these critical conversations happening.
To me, the one last week, as I said, I don't think it's been the sat on the pitch kind of thing. I don't think it's been done in a way. I think it is basically pissed off sat on the pitch.
Okay.
No fans there. You're at home. You kind of be in. You know what's going to happen. If we were there,
I love how you say we, by the way.
Yeah. If my group was there when I was there, if that had happened on our thing, and we were in the dressing room afterwards, and we were in there, and they hadn't walked in the dressing room when they were on the back of the pitch, there'd have been wars in the dressing room.
Would there?
There'd have been what you're doing, who the fuck do you think you are? What's the first swear word? I've done quite well there.
No, that's okay. Well done.
It's it would have been very much like, why are you on the pitch? What are you doing? And that isn't a slight. It's different. I still believe that the thing last week's different because there's no players in the stadium. I don't think it's a hard scenario because it's a completely different thing.
So then to play off what you've just said, Holty, what you've indicated there is in your team there was a sheer grit and determination, but there was a togetherness. Now, what you can see, Jack's off again, dodgy internet. What you can see is a lack of togetherness. Surely, why would you sit out on that pitch?
But you can't see that till you're in the dressing room. This is what I'm saying.
It makes fans think.
Yeah, but it's a hard thing to say the is or isn't.
Yeah, I know,
because everyone's different. You might have a group of friends where you're together and you're different, if that makes sense, in one way. And you might have a group of friends who are really quiet when you get together.
But surely you go and walk out together.
No, but you might have a group of friends where you're nice and quiet, and you might have another group of friends who are like lunatics when they go out.
Yeah.
You don't. It doesn't mean you like the lunatics more. You like the thing ones.
Yeah.
Just because you can't see doesn't mean you don't like each other as much as they don't like each other.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying to you. It's hard to see if they've got togetherness or not when you're not in there. But I just think it becomes across. It's the fact of it's the managing the game on the pitch as a group. I don't think don't think there's no one driving that for me.
Hucks.
And it's hard because you got to remember as well, a lot of that group's young.
Yeah, I agree.
I came to Norwich when I was 29.
Yeah, you were getting on a bit. You got quite lucky.
I was an old man. Do you know what I mean? And we had players in the squad who were 29, 30-year-old. They're a very young group.
Yeah.
I think the thing for me is I don't know if it's like being yes men around each other, but like Holty said, I'm not seeing anyone barking at someone when someone's made a mistake. I'm not seeing that. And if I'm out there on the pitch and my teammates aren't criticising me for mistakes I'm making, you then get to a point where you think that's acceptable. And then that acceptable level gets us to a point where we're going to have our record low Premier League points total. So, I don't know.
It's like anything. As long as it's said in the right way, that's different.
Yeah, of course.
If you're starting to dig people out and that and different stuff, then that's different. Because then you
I completely agree. I think we'll wrap things up there. Holty's promised us that if any other questions are wanted, he'll reply to every single tweet he receives tonight.
Perfect. Thank you. Cheers.
No, you're joking. Go follow him though. His handle is.
So I've got 4 more star at home, so I'll be on my 8th by about that. You might get some tweets back. You might not like. So
you're gonna need it. No,
thanks so much for everyone who's watched. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. That will mean you get notified every time we go live. Holty's welcome back. I'm not sure if he'll want to come back at any point. If you
come back to eat humble pie in a few weeks.
Anyway, thanks very much. I will go on, Chris.
I was just saying I quite like this. He can come back every week if he's going to give you this sort of stick.
Well, there we go. I just want to see Norwich win.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see. I'd quite like to see that. Actually, that would be quite nice, wouldn't it?
Baby steps. We scored today, so that's good.
Good goal as well, Buendia.
Great goal. And Buendia, of course. I just want to say a massive thank you to every single person that's watched and enjoyed the watch along today. Huge thank you, much appreciate it. And let us know in the comments who you want to see on the watch along before the end of the season, and we will do everything that we can to make it happen. But I can't promise you it will be Grant Holt. This was a one-off.
Thanks so much for watching, people. As I said, hit subscribe, and that way you'll be notified when we do go live in the future. Thanks to Grant. Thanks to Chris. We'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.
On the ball, City.